I'm going to hit that recording in progress because Tim, I'm going to forget.
You got it.
So, Steve, just so you know, you're being recorded. So, watch your dance moves. Watch your dance moves. You don't want to give away all those slick moves.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you keep shutting me off so they can't hear me swearing at you.
That's all right. We're being recorded now.
That's the purpose. How is everybody? I see some smiling faces, some getting ready. Let's see smiling faces. Brooke, did
What?
you brush your teeth today?
I tried.
All right, that's good. They look clean. They look good.
Thank you.
They look good.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
You're
Let's get
welcome.
everybody. 9:02, and then that's it. We're going.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
I like it when the little boxes get smaller and smaller because it means more friends are joining.
Absolutely.
Good morning.
I think we got a good sized crew too signed up, huh?
We do. We have a ton of people signed up.
That's pretty
We draw a
impressive.
crowd. Tim, it's us. We draw a crowd.
It is. It is.
Yes.
It is. Should I take my cartoon figure off? Oh, it's just me.
Sure.
It's just me.
Sure. All right, friends, let's kick this off. I got 9:02 on the dot. We don't punish the prompt here. That is such a KW saying.
Right? Punish the prompt. I like that. I like that.
Don't punish the prompt, the people who are on time. So take it away, Tim. Introduce yourself, and then we'll get into who I am, and then we'll get rocking and rolling.
Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. How's everybody doing today? Thumbs up? Thumbs up. Awesome. Well, you are in for a treat today. You are going to learn the language of real estate, and we're going to work on scripts. We have an amazing day for you. Thank you all for taking time out of your morning to go ahead and be a part of this to help better your business in your future in real estate. As Brooke said, my name is Tim. I'm Tim Shea. I am the team leader of Keller Williams Evolution, which encompasses one main hub in Beverly and then 5 other business centers in Reading, Revere, Newburyport, Topsfield, and Salem, Massachusetts. I've been in real estate since 2005. I've been a realtor. I've had my own team. I've worked with teams, worked with development teams. I've been our technology director. So Brooke and I share a common geekness there too. So I think Brooke takes it up one level though. So I'm learning from her.
He's a geek. I'm a nerd. He's a geek. Yeah. I'm a nerd.
We're GERDs together. GERDs, right?
Yeah.
Geeky
Give
nerds.
me stomach acid.
Geeky nerds. We're GERDs. And so I want to take a second to, many of you already know her, and how can you not? But Brooke, why don't you introduce yourself to those that may not, a fraction of this population here, not know who you are?
It's okay if they don't. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. So I am Brooke Silva. I am your regional technology trainer here at KW New England, which is the weirdest term for what I do, because what I do is actually education as a whole for the region. So I get to jump on fun things like this, MREA clinics. You may see me in your market center teaching classes. Sign up. You will not regret time with me. Sign up. I'm excited to help with Ignite today. I love what Ignite does for agents at any level. It doesn't matter where you are in your business, you're going to hear something different. I know I talked about that a little bit yesterday with Brian. So I'm going to ask that everybody take a few minutes, clear your space, put your hair up, get rid of the sleepies under your eyes, and turn your video on if you can. I don't love teaching to an empty room. If you see me teaching to a room of no one, check on me. I might not be okay if I'm in your market center. Just like here, we want to see your video. We want this to be interactive. Tim and I are going to be your most boring instructors for this.
Totally boring. Totally boring.
Totally boring.
You know, seeing your faces is participation. So we kindly ask, as Brooke mentioned, that everybody put on their cameras, unless you haven't put your clothes on yet. Then wait, okay? Then wait. But make sure your cameras are on. We want to have full participation here. We want this to be fun. We want you to learn. We want you to walk away to have the tools to make your business a successful business. We're going to be covering a lot of information today from 9 to 12. We got breaks built in here for you. We encourage class participation, and when we're off during the breaks, we encourage you to shut your videos off, but jump right back in. We have reaction buttons. So, you know, we want participation. We want you to ask questions. Certainly feel free to chime in, but also utilize your hand raise if you have questions as well. And we're here to go ahead and make this a fun day for you. So again, we really appreciate everybody taking time out of their morning to learn the powerful language of scripts, because that is one of the things that you need to make sure that your business is moving in the right direction. All right, we all ready to begin? Thumbs up. Let's do it. All right, let me just share some stuff here. All right. So welcome to the powerful language of real estate, and we are here to get you guys some results. The goal of Spark today for session 3 is for agents to get their first appointment within 2 weeks and to set them up for signing up their first transaction in 30 days. And this is how you begin to set your career in real estate. We're going to be talking about our systems. We're going to be talking about the language of real estate, and it all revolves around nurturing everything that you have around you in your sphere. I want to start off with kind of a quick analogy. Everybody here has seen the movie Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, right? All right. Well, the notion with that is that somehow all these ingredients get into this machine that is the Wonka machine, and it clunks, it spits, it shakes, it smokes, and out the bottom come these golden wrapped candy bars. Well, our Wonka machine is you and your business and our platform Command. And the ingredients that go into that are your contacts, those that are part of your sphere, those that you're going to bring in, those that you're going to lead generate on, and you're going to nurture it. The machine is going to clunk and spit and shake and smoke. And out the bottom of those are going to be those golden wrapped candy bars in the form of, hey, Brooke, thanks for sending me all that information and staying in touch with me. Can you come and talk to us about selling our home? And the more ingredients that you put in, the more that you nurture, the more that that machine starts to clunk and spit, the more of those calls are going to come out of that machine. And that is our objective with real estate. We don't want to overcomplicate it, because it really is built upon that one thing, and that is nurturing our current database and continuously adding to it so you have more opportunity for yourself. So again, we're going to work on this goal every single day by building a database, by practicing your scripts, contacting prospective clients, and getting to know your market. And in 2 weeks, you will be able to establish core activities and habits that you'll use your entire career. We're not going to get distracted by squirrels or shiny objects, right, Brooke? Squirrels and shiny objects are a commonplace in our industry, right? Are they not?
They are. They are. And it's easy to get distracted when you're doing your lead gen.
So what we're going to learn is we're going to preview listings, reading the MREA, watching selected videos on Connect, and so much more. So let's move on. All right. So what do successful agents do every single day? Well, they grow their business and they run their business. And as you can see from the slide here, when you're growing your business, there's key core activities. And they are things such as lead generating for buyers and sellers. You're going to make seller listing presentations and get listings. You're going to make buyer presentations and get listings. And you're going to preview real estate. We're going to talk about this, and it's going to come together, and we're going to really try to simplify it for you. And something that we call it a 10-4. Okay, so remember that word, 10-4. Maybe you've been a truck driver or something like that, 10-4, good buddy, or you've seen a movie. Roger. But remember that 10. Roger. And then agents run their business every single day. And what does running your business constitute?
Wait. Your business doesn't run you?
No,
Are you
it
sure?
doesn't.
How
That's
many
what
people
happens
right now feel like put a hand up or in the chat, throw if you feel like your business is running you, for anybody who's been here a while. Go ahead, Tim. Sorry.
No, that's okay. But that's such a true point, Brooke. I mean, what happens when you get into real estate is that you are given a roadmap. And that's one of the great things about Keller Williams, is that our goal is to provide you the roadmap, show you the route to get there, show you the pit stops, show you the rest stops, show you where you need to get to through proven models, through proven systems. But understanding one thing, you come in as an independent contractor, so it's entirely up to you to walk that walk and talk that talk. And today what we're going to really focus on is talking that talk and really kind of framing your business so that you can focus on the key core activities. Now, has everybody here heard of the 80-20 rule? Raise hands, 80-20 rule. Well,
Ooh, tell
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Great.
Well, the 80, anybody want to chime in and tell me what the 80-20 rule is besides Brooke?
Gary raised his hand, so let's call
Gary,
on,
go ahead, Gary.
or maybe
Or
he just knows what
he's
it
saying
is.
he heard of it. He's heard of it.
Come
Well,
off.
I'll give you extra credit if you know exactly where its derivative was. It's actually called something specific. Anybody know? 80-20 rule is called Pareto's Principle. In ages ago, Pareto realized and deduced that 80% of the wealth came from 20% of the people. Well, that's become common practice in businesses. And in our business of real estate, it specifically what we talk about is we want you to focus on the 20% activities that are going to generate you 80% of your revenue. Don't focus on the 80% activities that are going to generate you 20% of your revenue. So a lot of times we get run by our business and we don't take control of it, like Brooke said. So we want to make sure that we're focusing our daily activities on the things that are our 20%, our big rocks, right? Our big rocks. So when you're running your business, it talks about things such as you're going to market seller listings, you're going to show buyer houses, you're going to negotiate contracts, transaction management to closing. And we're in such a great position, not only with KW, but the technology that we've invested in so that you have a platform built in with Command that you're able to go ahead and do everything that you need to do as a realtor, as a real estate agent within the platform of Command to run your business. There's no need for you to step outside of that platform other than maybe to check on MLS. You're going to have vendor management. So you're going to work on your relationships with your vendors. You're going to set goals. Believe that, Brooke? That's actually a part of running your business, setting a goal, right?
Goals? Somebody cares
Goals.
about our goals?
Absolutely. We do here.
We do.
And that's a key core element of making sure that you're striving for something down the road, setting your goals. You're going to focus on compliance and risk management. Now, I've heard certainly at our market center that we tend to have a lot of paperwork, but I'd rather have paperwork to get complete so that there's no liability down the road for us and for you as agents. And that's one of the things that KW really prides himself on as well, is making sure that you're protected and your market centers are protected. And as you start to migrate, if you're a newer agent into the world of real estate and get out there, you're going to find that many other brokerages do it quite differently. And I would probably bet, Brooke, that their errors and omissions is probably pretty high. There's probably a lot of suits that are going on. So there's purpose behind that. All right.
Yes,
So when
there is.
you feel a little overwhelmed with compliance and risk management, understand there is purpose behind it. And Keller Williams has always been a teach yourself how to fish type of company. We're really influxing a lot of hands-on tutorial, but we've always been an education-based company. And so you're going to attend training and get coaching. I'm going to go ahead and pat Brooke on the back here because since '05, since I've joined here, I don't know that there's ever been a time in our history where our region has been so engaged and so interactive in providing us all of the tools. If you've been paying attention, our training really comes from three areas. It comes from everything from corporate providing, everything from the region, and everything your market center is doing. And our region is teeing us up at every step. So they're taking the guesswork out of it. All you have to do is just follow what corporate's doing, and more importantly, follow what the region's doing. And Brooke will eventually teach you how to put filters on your Snapchat as well, right?
Yeah,
Brooke, you
that'll
guys
be
have
one
been
of our
doing.
tech times. You want to be one of those big mouth filters like me? I got you.
Brooke, you've watched some evolution. You just talk about like what stuff you've been implementing in the region and how it's really pieced together, because you've been doing an amazing job with our training and our coaching and making sure our agents are so teed up.
Oh, thank you. My big why is about learning. If you've been in one of my classes, you've heard my big why about growing up with a learning disability and being taught from an early age to have the mindset that I wasn't allowed to learn, that I didn't have the ability to learn. So, my passion is making sure that any of our agents, our team leaders, anyone who steps foot on KW territory has the ability to learn, whether it's you need to rewatch this, whether you need to be live with us in person, one-on-ones with your market centers. We want to make education so accessible and easy that that's never a barrier to your business or your growth. You can always find me. You can always get resources through me and the region. We just want you guys to feel loved and supported. And we're looking at the initiatives that Keller Williams gives us. And we're saying, how can we make this even easier for our agents, for our leadership, for our market centers to make sure our agents feel that love and know there are so many places to go to get the information they need to run big businesses. So I love Ignite. You hit a block in your business in a year, you come back to Ignite. It's game changer all the time, and you'll always hear something when you need it. You may not pick everything up. Some of this stuff may not feel right now, and that's okay, depending on where you are in your business. But this is not a one-stop shop. I sat in Ignite, I'll never have to do it again. Foster a love of learning here with us, because we're going to make it fun and interactive, and we're going to tailor it to our agents' needs. So I'm excited you're here.
Yeah, absolutely, Brooke. Ignite is a part of that foundational pouring that we try to lay here. It is for new agents to understand the basics. And what we try to do is we try to create a foundation for you that's built solidly so that you can take your business wherever you want to go. It's not built on, to use a real estate term, a rat slab that when you start to pile some weight on it, it cracks. We want you to have a solid foundation. But as Brooke said, and there are experienced agents in here, because Ignite is also there to light a flame under your backside, because our industry is a cyclical industry. And I know, I'll speak for myself, when I have gotten a few deals in, sometimes I have the propensity to want to say, hey, I deserve a break here, and I'm just going to kind of just take it easy for a little bit. But what happens is that you ultimately end up having a harder hill to climb when you decide to get yourself engaged back in. And so Ignite really does allow you to light a flame under your backside. And I think one thing that you'll hear through all of these sessions, through Spark, through the elementals, is that you got to keep your foot on the gas. Don't let the gas up. Keep yourself going at cruise control, even when you think maybe the industry has shifted or maybe it's the holiday season. That's the time. And this is the time right now where you should really be focusing on your business, focusing on reaching out to your database, adding to your database, so that when that spring market comes, you're ready, you're locked and loaded, and you've got clients in the pipeline. And believe it or not, when you run your business, you also have to manage your money, which, Brooke, ironically, is another class that I'm teaching on the 29th, financial basics as well. But Brooke, I think we probably have a lot of new agents in this, and that's phenomenal. But we probably have some experienced agents in this. Did you have a question?
I do. And, the question is that I hear so often is, why do producing agents come back to MREA foundations? You touched on it a little bit, but we've got agents here in all levels, or maybe you're sitting in a room and somebody's facilitating this. Why did they come back to Ignite or reread the MREA?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I think a lot of it revolves around getting centered. And a little bit about what I just mentioned is that, real estate, you are an independent contractor. And like we said, we try to provide you the roadmap, give you all the tools to stay motivated. But sometimes that just life gets in the way, and for whatever reason, you may take that foot off the gas, or you may have something that, is pressing. And, part of our belief system is God, family first, and so sometimes agents need to get back to those basics. In the MREA, when we talk about all the tools that you have at your disposal, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent is the blueprint to run a successful business. It is so much the blueprint that a part of my job is to educate other agents that are not a part of Keller Williams what they're getting. And they often reference the fact that they're using the MREA. So a lot of brokerages use the foundational principles of the Millionaire Real Estate, which happens to have been written by Gary Keller, Jay Papasan, so you have all of that. And so when we talk about agents that have been in the industry, they know what they need to do, those core activities, and sometimes they've gotten detracted from that for whatever reason. They go back to those foundational aspects that are built into the Millionaire Real Estate Agent.
Thank you. And it's true. And they attend trainings. Top
Mhm.
agents never stop learning. They never stop.
Yeah. a positive and negative out of the last 16 months where we've come from. The negative is obviously the pandemic has kind of put us in places of, different mind space, head space. I often say that coping is not a group activity. Everybody does it in their own way, and everybody has to kind of get themselves, comfortable in this environment. But it's taken away this tactileness of being in person in training. On the opposite end of that, it's also provided us access to opportunities in training that we would have never had access to. We can now log in and take part in a mastermind from a mega team in San Diego, California, that we would have never had access to. So the positive out of this is that when you're in this world of training, specifically for you new agents, you're in this microcosm of Ignite and Bold and some of your market center onboarding and training and fundamentals. You're going to have access to all of this library that's around you that at any point in time you could say, oh God, Brooke's teaching a class on tech series. I can jump in and take that. Or I've got a commercial real estate class. You can just drop in and take those. So that's the training that we're always going to have as a part of it. And I encourage you all within moderation so that you're not just completely bogged down with the training, because it's a mix of both. It's a mix of education and practicum, right? Educating yourself and getting out there and doing it.
Thank you.
All
I think
right.
that's
You're
just
very-
so important. So important. Right.
Absolutely.
Let's get into
So what
growing
we're-
your business.
Yeah, let's get into grow your business. So today, these are the skills that we are going to focus on. On growing your business, we're going to lead generate for buyers and sellers. We're going to make seller listing presentations and get listings. We're going to make buyer presentations and get listings. I'm going to show you some of the core elements of that and preview real estate. We're going to talk about all of these things and how they incorporate. And specifically as it relates to running your business, we're going to show you how to show buyer houses, negotiate contracts, and transaction management closing. All right. Learning internalizing scripts will help agents in all facets of their business, from lead generation to getting a closed transaction, because you want to be familiar with the situations that may arise when you're out meeting with buyers or sellers. The worst thing you can do is not sound confident. And confidence comes from knowing what you can pull from the back of your head to the front of your head and out of your mouth when you hit that adversity, right? I used to consult with financial firms and talk with call centers. And one of the things that I would talk about is that you may not know the answer to every question. And I would encourage people to kind of get into this mantra. If you don't know the answer to a question, don't make up an answer, because people can tell confidence. So if you're confident, you can easily say, you know what? I don't know the answer to that, but let me find out for you. It's all about how the reframing of it. And that's the core element of learning the language of real estate and scripts, is being able to know, oh, I'm going to pull this snippet in, or I'm going to pull this snippet in. We're giving you the tools. All right.
I know,
Anything
and
to
it's so
add to that?
funny because when people hear scripts and dialogues, I see the faces, right? Shoulders go up to their ears, right? Everybody's like, oh, scripts and dialogues. But do you know from childhood you are taught one simple script, and do you know what those two simple scripts are actually? Please
No.
and thank you. Please and
Please and
thank you
thank
were the first scripts you ever really learned as a small child, unless you're a heathen. But most people say please and thank you all the time. We teach our kids. I have a 5-year-old who is a nightmare, but she is the most polite nightmare because we have drilled into her head, you say please and thank you. It's about taking these things in, learning them, digesting them, not ripping them apart, but making sure they sound like your voice when they're coming out. And the whole point of practicing is so you're not like beep boop, robot, robot, say the words I'm supposed to, right? If you say please and thank you, it's very natural, unless you're like, please give me the cookie. Thank you for giving me the cookie. But I don't want you guys to fear that. I don't want to see your shoulders go up to your ears when we say scripts, dialogues, communication, because it's not like you're going to practice on your clients. That's what we're here for. Say the words. It's going to feel weird. It's going to feel clunky the first time. Maybe you'll have a little agina, a little stomach acid. That's all right. It's growth.
Yep, absolutely. And it's intertwined. These scripts are intertwined with the elements that you already have within your being. It's to be inquisitive. It's to ask questions of the person that you're in front of or that you're talking with. going to tell a very quick story here, and it's called the Queen's Logic story. And I was listening to the Queen of England be asked a question by a reporter.
The Queen Mom.
The Queen Mom. And the reporter said, you know, you've traveled the world and you've met so many interesting people, but of your travels, who has been the most interesting person you've ever met? Well, the Queen thought about it for a second and she said, well, I've met, you know, John F. Kennedy and he lectured me for hours about democracy. And I met Stalin and he lectured me for hours about communism. I met two popes and they lectured me for hours about theology. But who's the most interesting person I ever met? She goes, I'd probably have to say the Tsar of Czechoslovakia. And the reporter scratched her head and said, well, who's that? And the Queen said, well, nobody of real importance, but he asked me all about my life. And he's the one that I remember the most. And he's the one that I remember being the most interesting. So as we progress through these scripts, don't put aside the core element that is you to be inquisitive and learn about other people. Make sure that people remember you as being the most interesting person because you're interested in them. Okay.
I love that. I love that.
All right, so let's talk. We've got a lot to cover today and want to just kind of highlight our agenda for the day. Understand scripts in 1 hour session. We're going to focus on that. We're going to talk about the purpose of scripts and removing your limiting beliefs. Brooke, what would be a limiting belief? Well, we can talk about that in a little bit, but I think we all have limiting beliefs, don't we?
Yeah, sometimes you may hear them referred to as the drunk monkey on your back. You may even have a little purple statement on a wall somewhere in your office about
Yeah.
the drunk monkey.
Yep, absolutely. You know, things like, oh God, I see this mega agent doing it. I'll never be able to do it their way. I'll never be able to do that.
Here's my favorite one. You ready for my favorite one?
I am.
Nobody wants to hear from me.
That's malarkey.
That's,
right?
You're going to pick up the phone when I call because it brings value.
Right. And I think a lot of us get in the way of that because what you'll ultimately find out is when you do pick up the phone, you're probably going to be met with, yes, maybe some that I'm not interested, but you're also going to be met with some that are very open to the conversation, and it's all about your approach with them. So again, incorporating the knowledge that you gain from practicing scripts, but also intertwining it into who you are at your core, which is a good person. We're going to talk about the benefits of using scripts. We're going to role model and talk about memorizing scripts. We are going to role play. So there is going to be some role play in this, and you guys are going to have some script practice. We're going to break you out into some rooms, and you are going to actually practice scripts. And remember, there's no judgment in any of this. We're all here to make ourselves better. So if you're thinking to yourself when I say you're going to have to actually talk scripts, I want you to start to think about that and just say, you know what, this is a safe space. We want to be able to make mistakes so we don't make those in the future or continue to make them to the point that they're not mistakes anymore because you know the language so well. This is where you practice. And one of the things, Brooke, that I see a lot with our experienced agents is they get into script practice with other people. That's a common theme. They
and
continue.
Not local.
Not local.
Don't talk to your BFF because they're going to be gentle. Find somebody who is not in your market, not in your area, and become script practice. My script practice partner for what I do is in California.
Yeah. And with our technology these days, you're able to do that. And I would also say too, while you get comfortable with a script partner, you know, a lot of us have social boards through our market center, and it's just a repository for you to ask other questions to your agents. I've had in the last week, at least 2 agents put out their request for script practice partners. So it is the core, one of those things that you can use to grow your business. We are going to do the role play. Like I said, we're going to have some recaps and ahas, and we're really going to pull on you to go ahead and contribute to this. And then we're going to talk about daily success habits regarding script practice, lead generation, how you update contacts and follow up, contract practice. We might focus on, probably not today. And then we're going to have you guys create a success list so that you're prepared to leave this class today and be successful. All right. Have any questions before we move forward? No questions. All right. Let me just open this up and see how many are
we have
still.
48 people on with us.
48 people, and I'm just scrolling through to see how many we have actually on camera. So for those that may have joined, contribution is participation. Part of participation is seeing your lovely faces. So thank you so much for getting yourselves on camera. We want to make sure we see you because we want to recognize you the next time we see you, because Brooke is visiting market centers. We're all going to run into each other. It's a small community. So thank you for taking time to put your cameras on. We really appreciate it. All right. So the big picture. Focus on today's Spark session is memorizing and internalizing scripts. It is important for the participants and for all of you participating today to understand what you're going to learn today, how it fits into a bigger picture. So scripts help you control the conversation by utilizing purposeful language that helps you get to the end point, which is ultimately what? A closed transaction. Scripts start maybe at the very infancy of somebody maybe that you've met at a supermarket, and you overhear a conversation and you say, hey, my name's Tim Shea. If you ever had any questions about real estate, feel free to give me a call. And it could be somebody that you've met in the middle and they're ready to move, but that's your pipeline from here to here. And you're going to meet people at all different varying points in that pipeline. And you're going to want to be prepared to have those conversations. They're going to help you communicate your value proposition. That's a huge thing, because now in this market with all the disruption that we have going on, where there's a lot of emphasis on data, consumption of data, and change and disruption in the marketplace, which, by the way, for somebody like myself who's been in since 2005, I couldn't be happier where Keller Williams is going to prepare yourselves for a future in tomorrow's real estate landscape. Because within a 1 to 3 years, you're going to see a lot of shifts happening in the industry. And you're associated with a company that not only cares about your bottom dollar, but also your relevance as we progress into the future of real estate. It's something that you're going to be able to really focus on and shore up your value proposition, because as that change happens and Keller Williams provides you the tools to be successful, you're going to really have to shore up your value proposition. And that may change as you progress. But if you start with a core foundational value proposition, you'll easily be able to go ahead and adjust that as we move forward. Once you've internalized scripts, you can add to your value proposition, which will help you lead generate and close deals. Scripts help you uncover motivation, because ultimately we want to ask those questions that make that person think that you truly do care about them. Not just think, but make them understand that you really do care about them. So it's about asking questions. Do you know one of the first questions I always ask somebody that I meet for the first time? Where are you from originally? That question, I know, will 90% of the time always generate some sort of connection for me that I can continue that conversation or ask questions of. So we're going to uncover motivations and identify any objections so you can handle them up front. That's what scripts also do. They're going to help you uncover what those objections may be, so that when somebody turns to you and says, yeah, I've talked with 5 other agents, I'm not ready to talk to you right now. And you go, oh, okay, well, thank you for your time, and hang up. or say, well, sir, I can really appreciate that. Would it be okay if I shared what my value proposition would be for you and how I can help that out? So understanding how you can take a negative and turn it into a positive is really what we're hoping to focus you on today. They're going to allow you to ask questions in a way that you'll be able to quickly share information you need to better serve your clients. And scripts also help an agent gain confidence. I mean, I think that's probably one of the biggest keys is that it gives you confidence, because when you do hit those situations, you're not going to go, like Brooke just said, okay, thank you very much for your time.
Run. I'm so
Right?
embarrassed. Run.
You will have been in that landscape before, so you know what you're going to say. All right. Any questions before we move on? I want to hear some questions. I know there's some people out there that are question askers. So I want to see some hands raised. I want to ask questions. Between Brooke and myself, you've got 2 people that are a part of the industry for some time, very technologically savvy. Myself, I've worked with teams, I've worked individually, I've created a team. I've actually used the opportunity roadmap that's built into the Keller Williams system to be tech director, now team leader. So please ask us questions as we progress. We want to have your interactiveness, right? All right, perfect. So I want everybody, I know this might be a little bit of a cluster, but I want you to do it while you're muted, but I want you to read these scripts with me, all right? So let's take a look at these scripts. There's purpose behind these, right? Let's all, on the count of three, read that first script up at the top. 1, 2, 3. Did you find everything you were looking for? Question mark, right? All right. How about the second one? Go ahead, look around, and please let me know if I can help you. And how about the third one? I see you admiring that big screen TV. Are you looking to get one of those for the big game this weekend? Yes, I know I do. All right. Has anybody ever heard those phrases before? Raise your hand. Yep, I see some heads nodding. That's good. Okay. Can anybody think of any other common examples that they've heard before, especially examples in the real estate industry? Anything you've ever heard before? Nobody wants to chime in?
How about at an open house? What have you heard an
Mhm.
agent say to somebody walking through the door? You're muted. I'm getting really good at reading lips though of people muted
Yeah.
trying to talk.
Please sign in this.
Please sign in. What else when you're at the open house can you be asking?
Are
If
you
you have
working
any
with a
question.
realtor?
Yep. Absolutely. Are you working with a realtor?
What else?
Yep.
What else? There's something that's missing from all of your open house scripts. All of them.
How are you doing today?
Be a person. Be a person. Also, how did you hear about the open house? Because nobody wakes up wanting to go to an open house and magically knows the
Mhm.
info. That's so important for your marketing. How did you hear about us? Wow,
Yep.
Facebook? Awesome. Was it on a page or was it an ad that I put out? Wonderful. Please let me know if you have any questions while you're looking around.
Yep, absolutely. And open houses are probably the first one you can start on learning your scripts, because it's going to be probably one of your first face-to-face interactions with customers coming into, or potential clients coming into a home. And it's always a fine balance between wanting to gather information and get to know them, while at the same extent letting them kind of move through the house at their own pace. Now, obviously, we have sign-in sheets. And I've always, in my real estate business, always welcome people and welcome to the open house. I'm very excited you can make it here today. I want to be able to get you some information. So if you'd come on in, I'd get you some information. And we want to have, the sellers want us to have everybody sign on in. And while they're signing on in, I would ask those questions. How did you hear about the open house today? And potentially, are you working with an agent? But part of that sign-in sheet will also have that information on there. And I'd also keep a close eye as they're signing on board, when they're signing on to the open house sheet, to see if they missed anything. Because part of our goal at that point in time is to get their contact information and
You
stimulate
mean
some
don't
more
chase
conversation.
them around? Don't chase them around?
Totally don't chase them around. I make it very clear. Make it very clear when they come on in, Brooke, that I want to get you some information,
Somebody's
right?
watching me.
I have no privacy.
So that last one, what if somebody's keeps coming back to the kitchen or a fantastic bathroom, right? With the huge tub. That's my dream, like one of those huge claw tubs that I can just sink in and disappear for a while. But you can say things like, you guys keep coming back to this kitchen. What can you imagine yourselves doing here? Right? I'm a huge cook. If you follow me in any of my stuff or come to the classes, you know I relate everything to food. I'm a food-driven animal. So when you see people coming back to a room, it's another way you can say, I see you admiring the kitchen. What are some of the things you love about it? Start that conversation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The phrases on the slides are typically well known and commonly used in sales and service industry. The phrases and the ones that are in the real estate industry focused are only successful when combined with a person's knowledge of that industry. So for those newer agents, you're going to start to get confidence. There's a lot of information that you're digesting right at this point. and don't get discouraged with the onslaught of information that you're getting. Part of our goal is to make sure that we're laying that path out for you and that you're focusing on those core elements. But that knowledge of the industry and the knowledge of those scripts are something that's going to start to come the more that you do it. You can't expect to get your license, open up your umbrella and make money rain down on you. That's just not how the industry works. Brooke, I forgot to ask you, did you want to know what the secret to the real estate industry is and being a successful realtor?
You've held back on me.
I
Hold on.
have. I have.
It's been years, Tim. We've been in a relationship for years.
I know. I know. You ready for it?
Yep.
Are you guys ready for it? There is no secret. It's hard work. It's hard work. It's consistent practice. It's an evolution of your business. And there is no secret sauce. Money is not going to pour out of the sky. Are there going to be opportunities that come to you and drop down in your lap? Of course. And we all love those. Believe me, we all love those. But it's about understanding your business. It's about understanding scripts. It's about focusing on those 20% activities. And if you start to ask questions of agents that have been around for a long time, they will echo that exact same sentiment. Excuse me. The scripts should be seen as a tool, as something that's essential to getting the job done. It is just a natural part of what we do in the industry. And scripts should be 100% customer oriented and benefit the customer throughout the entire conversation. Just take a look at what Brooke, or listen to what Brooke had said, asking questions about when you're at an open house, being inquisitive. If you're by nature just a little quiet, it might be something that you want to work on, because your job is to be that expert, to engage in conversation and to pull those questions out so that you can benefit your business. It's your business, and I can't emphasize that enough. It's your business. Okay?
Yes, you own it. You need a monocle. Go get your Monopoly board, have your picture put on it. You get a Monopoly monocle.
Would you just take this for a second? I have my shade and my son's just
I
jumping
know.
right in here.
That was
Hold on
me
a second.
earlier. That was me earlier. Can you just hit the button for the next slide? So we're going to start talking about limiting beliefs, and that's what's going to get us through to our 10 o'clock break. So when he comes back and he moves the slide, we'll talk about it. How many have heard that phrase already? And if you haven't, it's cool. But how many of you have heard what the phrase limiting beliefs? Hold on, I'm just looking because you're not got to scroll through. I'm looking. How about you, Andy? Have you heard limiting belief? Where's that Cowboys fan who messaged me? Do you know what a limiting belief is? That your team will win a Super Bowl, right? That's a limiting belief.
What's that?
Pats. Go Pats. Can you go to the next slide?
Yes.
We started talking about limiting beliefs and removing them. You can hit the next one. So, oh no, stay there. Stay there.
Yes.
It
yes.
doesn't. All right. So what is a limiting belief, Tim? So we hear this. So here's some of the things that bother me about our business is oftentimes we throw out phrases and things like lead gen, limiting beliefs. You know, we use all these phrases, but sometimes we don't articulate just what the basics of them are. So limiting beliefs, give me the quick and dirty of it.
Yep. Limiting beliefs. Yeah. Limiting beliefs are thoughts and negative thoughts and self-talk that ultimately hold you back. You know, a part of my job, which is also part of your job, is reaching out to people that we've never talked to before. And I can always find a reason not to pick up that phone. I can always find a reason to find another means to communicate with them. And I'm not suggesting that that's not bad. But ultimately, when it comes to real estate, it's me and you talking to one another in a way that allows us to establish a relationship. And that's the key element there, is it's about establishing a relationship. So if you're somebody that tends to chase squirrels or find reasons why they shouldn't be doing X, Y, or Z, these might be part of those limiting beliefs that are contributing you to moving your business down the road. And I can't emphasize enough that this is your business. So nobody else is going to, unless you have a coach or you have people like Brooke and myself in your life, tell you that you're doing something wrong. This is up to you to really take a step back and say, all right, I invested my energy, my time, my money to have a career in real estate. And I don't want anything getting in that way. And limiting beliefs are at the top of that list. As Brooke has said before, it's that drunk monkey sitting on your shoulder. And for those that have not taken bold, I would highly encourage you, if you're a new agent, after you've gotten through that foundational pouring, jump into bold, because bold's objective, it's a KW. It's probably the best KW sanctioned training that there is out there. It puts you in that uncomfortable spot. It has you make those calls. It really, when you walk away from that, those things that were your limiting beliefs don't seem that big anymore, right? Brooke, what's one of, we talked before about one of your favorite drunk monkeys. Is there anything else that you like?
You know what? I want to hear what they come up with, because I can give you all
Okay.
the things they throw at me daily, because they do. Agents will go around and around instead of just going straight to things sometimes and swallowing that frog. So, what I want to do is break them out. And the exercises, we want you guys to talk about some of your limiting beliefs with the people in your room. And then
Yep.
when we come back, we don't have to have our objections or go over those things, but we want to get what the consensus is. So you're going to pick someone in your room to speak, and it's the person with the closest birthday to today. So whoever's got the birthday that's coming up, you're the speaker. So I'm going to break you guys out into rooms. If you are in a market center where you're facilitating it as a group, pick your speaker, but do not go into the breakout room. Just stay here, and then we'll pull you back. So I'm going to click
Before
that.
we do that, can we have everybody, so you have your participant guide, right? And you've got page 4, I'd like everybody to turn to. And here's what I'd love for you to do. We're gonna, like Brooke said, we're gonna break you out into rooms. Brooke had asked if we have some people that want to share some limiting beliefs that are a part of your dialogue. And I'd love everybody to take a second while maybe volunteering to talk, but also taking a second, whether you have a physical page 4 or just a piece of paper and you're looking at page 4, I want you to just individually write down some limiting beliefs, because part of the benefit of joining in with your group is you're going to hear other people's limiting beliefs and you may say, oh, yeah, right, that's mine too. So I want you to take a second while also having some volunteers here to maybe share a couple of limiting beliefs, but also write down 2 or 3 limiting beliefs that you have right now as well. Anybody courageous enough to get off mute and share some limiting beliefs? I see Shelley, you're off mute.
I am. I'm going to be honest with you. I've been licensed for all of 2 weeks, and I have never been to an open house in my life. So
okay.
I don't have, I will tell you, I don't have a shyness issue. I'm very
That's
good at
good.
going out and chatting with people. I do love your initial, where are you from? I use that quite often myself. I can engage in conversation. So I really do have to put some thought into that limiting belief issue.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting point too, because somebody who sounds seemingly like an extrovert, somebody that likes being around people, I'm sure there is a limiting belief in there. I'm sure there is a limiting belief, and you may not have.
Okay, I'm sorry. No, I can think of one, and that is, hold yourself back from making that, 30-second assessment based on something presented. Perhaps you meet an individual and you mistakenly think, well, this is not the sort of individual who would be interested in this conversation, or perhaps you mistake the fact that they may have more means than what they do, type of thing.
Yep. Here's one that often comes. Bridget, I see your hand up and I'll call you in 1 second. Here's one thing. I have had this happen to me at least 2 or 3 times, where I've driven by a for sale by owner. And I said, oh, I got to call that person. But then that drunk monkey on my shoulder said, they don't want to use you. They don't want to use you. And I picked up the phone, maybe hung up the phone, never called that person. And a week later, I seen agent sign on that lawn. And I could have had that listing. And I guarantee you that if you let that drunk monkey talk to you from not reaching out to that for sale by owner in fear that they may not be so nice on the other end, you might miss that opportunity. Bridget and Anita, then next.
I think just as a new agent, not having the experience and feeling like you would be the best person for the job, I think is one of the things that is kind of a limiting belief. Just like lack of experience, and how are you going to bring the value that, say, who's been in the industry a while. So I think
Yeah,
that'd be my number
that's
one.
that's incredibly valid. And I would say that it first starts with confidence. And I know this may not sound, exactly, but you kind of fake it till you make it, right? Because you're on the road to making it. And it's all about confidence. You're not going to go up to a listing, or you're not going to talk to a potential client and they say, well, Bridget, how long have you been in the industry? Well, only 2 weeks, Well, actually, I've worked with Keller Williams, the largest brokerage around, and I've got a great system here that I'd love to share with you. And you kind of divert that conversation. But sometimes, that is a little bit of a hurdle to get over. But that's why we talk about getting into scripts. Very
Hey,
good point,
Tim,
Bridget. Thank you. Yeah.
we've got Jen Bovey on the call. She wants to add something real quick. Jen, come on.
No way.
Yes, we
Jennifer
have
guys.
Bovey.
regional royalty.
All right. Hi, guys. Good morning. So, Bridget, I absolutely could relate with that. I was 22 when I got my license, and 22, brand new to the business. I didn't know anything. And that was a huge drunk monkey for me before I even knew what a drunk monkey was. And one of the ways that really helped me get through that hurdle was every single day I checked the hot sheet. Do you guys know what the hot sheet is?
Hot sheet.
I'll tell you, when you go on to MLS, onto your MLS system, every day they have a hot sheet of new active listings, of pendings, of closed for your area. You could set it for your radius, for your whole state, whatever you want. And if you're not sure of that, go get some training at your MLS area. Okay. Yet it was such an important thing for me, Bridget, because what I was able to do was have the knowledge of what properties were coming on the market every day. And I would look at them, new listings, pendings, and solds and expired. So when somebody asked me that question of, hey, how's the market? Because that is the number one question you all on this page will get in your career. Instead of just saying, oh, it's a crazy market, you now have the ability, even if you're brand new, to say, you know what, there were 5 listings that came on in our area, and 3 of them are already pending within 24 hours. Do you hear them? So you're having a conversation with them where they feel that you are the professional because of the language that you're using. So my recommendation is, no matter how new you are, get onto those hot sheets, know your market. Tim, is that okay that I shared that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No, get out. Get
No,
out.
no.
How dare you bring
Absolutely not,
value.
Jen. Of course it is. Absolutely. And, we said before, this is the benefit. I mean, Jen's dropping in. I mean, there's a wealth of knowledge around everything that you're doing, the people that you work with, the people that are helping run your market centers. And you're going to find snippets that work for all different people and for all different reasons. It's up to you to kind of follow and find what works for you. But we're going to actually focus on that too when we start to talk about the 10-4 as well, because it's absolutely that, Jen. It's about understanding your local marketplace. 100%. Yeah. Thank you very much.
All right.
Hopefully everybody.
And then let's hop into a breakout, and we're going to go to our break just a little bit late. But Anita, let's hear that limiting belief.
My contacts, which I added, they all have already settled with permanent houses. And last year, because it was so stressful, I exited all the groups because I needed some quiet time. And now I feel even if I start calling back, I don't know where to start because they all are settled, and that's the concern I have.
So your limiting belief is they don't want to hear from you because they already own a home. So I love this one. I love this one because you're so much more than someone who knows how to sell, buy houses, or push things around, right? You have so much value in what you do because you're a hyper local expert. You know the best plumbers. You know the best place to get your eyebrows done. You know the best barbers, hairdressers, pizza places, sub shops. You know all the best vendors, places, events in town. You're a wonderful resource outside of the actual transaction. Do you think they have family members looking to buy or sell?
They all are out of state.
We have a great referral network.
Okay.
Right? Those are some of the things to just keep in the back of your mind. You're more than just the transaction.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you want to be able to, ultimately part of the goal is to establish yourself as the professional, not just in buying and selling a home, but in all aspects of that. And Brooke brings up a really good point as well, just about our referral network. I mean, you know, when you jump in as a Keller Williams agent, not only are you given the blueprint to go ahead and build a business through proven models and systems, you have the ability to have a referral-based business, and you also have another passive income stream and profit share. So you really got 3 revenue streams here. But specifically as it relates to referrals, that's a very big opportunity for agents. And you never know, Anita, when that person who may have just bought a property is going to come back, and you're going to be at that top of mind. And it's about you staying in contact with them and staying relevant in their eyes, whether it's utilizing our smart plans that are built into Command to, again, do what, maybe focus on part of that 80% activities, because that's what it's there for. That's what KW built it for. So really good point, Anita. Anybody else before we move on? You're welcome. Yeah. Anybody else before we move into this breakout rooms? And we want you to be able to share some of your limiting beliefs that you wrote down in a group setting here. Bueller, anyone? No,
All right.
we're good.
Let's get
All
them
right.
out. So you're going to go out to your breakout rooms. You're going to write down your limiting beliefs. I want somebody to, you got it. Whoever is the next birthday, don't lie about your birthday. I have you all pulled up in white pages.
We're not going years. We're just going month, right?
Yeah.
We're just going month, right?
Months and
Okay.
days. I'm going to pull you in. If you've never been there, let me know if you need a little additional help. I'm opening the rooms. We're just going to do about 10 minutes. And I'll call you back. You'll get a 1-minute countdown. And like I said, if you're in a market center, just stay here and we'll see you when you come back. Well, Tim and I will be here hanging out, waiting for you. Unless, Tim, you want to jump around in the rooms. All right, there you go. Go to your rooms. Go to your rooms. Jen, feel free to jump in one. I moved you. I added you if you want to go to one.
I have to jump off in 2 minutes, so I'm gonna hang out here.
Oh, lovely.
What's going on there, Ms. Bovey?
Not much, Tim. Nice to see you. How's it going?
It's going well. It's going well. You know, it's kind of, I wouldn't say simmering down, but things are kind of leveling off with the merger and everything and trying to get things in place. But we're doing well. And, you know, kids' sports and all of those fun activities are, one is ending and another one's starting up. So different time frames. I'm doing well. We're going to see you down at family reunion.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Can't wait.
Yeah. How things been going in your world?
Good, good. And you're doing a great job this morning. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
And Brooke, I mean, Brooke knows how much I love and appreciate her. So you guys are tag teaming it really, really, really good.
Good, good. Well, I appreciate it. I wanted to fit it in and, you know, want to start kind of get more back into the teaching side of it. So I got this one and I got the financial basics. And if there's other stuff you need me to jump in on, please just reach out. And
oh, we might have to reach out for that.
Yeah, I saw that in
Hi, Rick.
the shed is like, he said maybe 20 by 10.
But I would turn it into like a.
Hi, Rick.
You want to jump into a room?
Yeah.
These two would turn it into.
Oh my God.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm in a staff meeting too.
Okay.
Multitasking.
Yeah, I want to let you know I was present in body anyway. The meeting's breaking up, but I'm meeting with one of the people for a few minutes to discuss a couple of things.
Okay.
Should I just join the breakout room at that
Yeah.
point?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, great. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, guys, I'm going to jump off for the TL huddle, but thanks for letting me pop on and say a couple of things.
Come
Yeah,
back in.
I'm gonna send you a quick email with that Zillow article. I didn't know if you wanted to bring it up at all.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll mention it.
Okay, I'll make sure it's in your inbox.
Interesting, right? Is that nobody saw that coming, right? Totally
Well,
non-viable.
there's a spin to that. They're now if you really read the article, what they're doing is they're saying we're going to take our money out of the iBuying because we can't figure out how to value properties digitally. Surprise,
mean-
surprise.
Then
And we're going to focus more on showing agent where consumers could schedule directly with the seller. So now they're
Right.
twisting. So
Yeah.
they're going from one angle to another. So we got to keep an eye on that.
Yep, absolutely.
All right.
One developer for 2.8 billion.
Mm.
I sent you the article for guerrilla
Thank you.
warfare.
All right. Thanks. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Jen. Brooke, I'm gonna just step off for 1 second, so don't bring the rooms back without me.
Well, they automatically close, so.
Okay, what do we got? 6 minutes?
Yep, you're good.
All right, I'll be back. How are we doing, girl?
Fantastic. When we pull them back, let's not answer the beliefs, but let's just have them, let's give them some resources where they can learn about it.
Okay.
Or we can talk about it when we come back from break. They have 3 minutes.
You want to bring forth the stuff we talked about?
Yep. Cranston, talk amongst yourselves. Don't get verklemmed.
I'm feeling a little verklempt right now.
Oh, verklemmed.
Verklempt.
Talk amongst yourselves. You know, I used that in a class one day and not one person got the reference. I was like, am I that old? Am I
Yeah.
that old?
Yes. Yes, the answer to that is yes.
Yes. It made me kind of sad. You know what I love? Everybody who's watching this is not going to hear the breakouts. They're going to see us being ridiculous talking about these things. So if you're watching this on recording, you can just zoom in for another 3 minutes and you'll find the content. So you get the Tim and Brooke show right now.
That's right. I recently did our first event for our North Shore Realtors, and I had to facilitate it as my term is coming to an end, thankfully. And I ran it for 200 people at the Danvers-Port Yacht Club, and I got up and I welcomed everybody and said it was so great to be in front of you. And I said, this seems really weird to see, something just doesn't seem right about this. And I had made a very large poster board of a Zoom screen. So I pulled it up and I put it in front of the podium. And I said, oh, that seems so much better now. We're all used to Zoom. I said, hold on a second, let me get comfortable. And I had a pair of extra pants underneath the podium and I pulled them up and I threw them over the podium. And I said, just remember, don't stand up, Tim. Don't stand up on camera. So even when we're live, we're still invoking Zoom, right?
Mm-hmm. I almost went as that for Halloween, a Zoom person with my camera off.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That was fun having Jen pop on.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta get back into our TL huddles.
So I just left the room. I don't know. I mean, we went over our objections, our limiting beliefs,
Okay.
Good.
but we
You're
don't, we're
close.
both pretty new. I literally was just licensed Monday, so I haven't done
wonderful.
or gone anywhere. I don't have my logins yet, so.
That's okay. This stuff is still, you're going to hear this stuff over and over. What market center did you join?
In West Hartford, Greater Hartford.
Oh, my
Oh,
buddy.
nice. What were
So,
you,
yeah.
are you doing this full time?
Yep, full time.
Good for
Excellent.
you. What'd you do before?
I was actually working at a dealership in the service department for like 6 years, so
So
it's
you bring in
different
some good,
and, you know, different
you
types
bring in
of,
some good skills though.
yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, I've dealt with different type of personalities, but I'm try this out and go from there.
This is great. That's great. Well, welcome, Vanessa.
Thank you.
You can tell we have no fun.
None.
None.
I need Brooke's energy in the morning.
I'm up. I
Yeah.
get up at 4 every single day.
Try 5
Wow.
Red Bulls.
I don't drink any Red Bull. That stuff will stop your heart.
Yeah,
My
I know.
husband's a paramedic and we're around colleges. He's always picking up kids who think they're having heart attacks when they're having Red Bull problems.
Right?
Yeah. Or the monsters. I'm like, that's kind of, I mean, I drink coffee, but and not any of the energy drinks.
Nope.
No.
Do
It's
I?
terrible.
Everybody is coming back, coming back. Oh, we should have had
Thank you.
welcome back Cotter ready. Tim, can you stop sharing for a minute so we can see all our friends' faces?
I can.
Thank you. All right, friends, everybody is coming back in the room. Hello, hello. Come on back. Come on back. We can tell who's paying attention.
Right.
They're back. 18 seconds and it will automatically boot them all back.
Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back.
Here they come.
That same old place that you laughed about. In the dreams.
All right. Welcome back, friends. All right. Please raise your hand digitally with the reactions button if you were the person chosen to speak for your room. Of course, it was Gary. Come on, raise those hands.
We will find you.
Annie, right, Annie, I'm gonna raise your hand so
Annie.
I see you. All right, we got Linda. I know there are more rooms than that. There we
Yeah.
go. All right.
All right.
All right. Gary, let's start with you. What was one of the drunk monkeys?
Okay. I will say this. Fear. It's a big one. It's kind of broad, but I'll explain. Fear, false evidence appearing real. That's how I break that down.
Okay.
The fear of being rejected, speaking to a person on the phone that doesn't know who I am, has never seen my face, and kind of getting that, getting the mindset of knowing that and realizing that, you know, these people don't know me at all. They might be having a bad day. They might not be upset with me. They might not be upset with anything related to real estate at the time when you're speaking to them, but you're going to have to be able to bounce that emotion off of yourself in order to maintain some type of sanity in the conversation.
Yeah, that's a huge one, Gary. I mean, that is probably the biggest element that's up front is the fear.
Mhm.
You know, and that's a great acronym, false evidence appearing real. And that's exactly what it is. It's false evidence, because I think once you ultimately have the chance to cross that threshold and make that call or reach out to that person or knock on that door, and you've got this anxiousness, this nervousness, that again, 9 times out of 10, you're going to find a probably different reaction than what you were anticipating, because it's the fear taking hold of everything that you think is going to happen. But again, I emphasize that you're your own boss here. So are you going to let fear dictate the future of your real estate business, or are you going to learn to talk the talk and learn scripts and learn scenarios that will make you feel more and more comfortable as you progress into this, so that when you do have to make that call or knock on that door or come across that situation, that the fear is back here, right?
Yes, I plan on doing that. I'm used to public speaking. I dealt with multi-level marketing. I was a preacher in the past, so I have no problem, speaking with people and getting it done. It's just that with a new area and new scripting, you just want to make sure that you're able to maintain a certain direction of a conversation. And so learning those principles is just a matter of time for me. As I stated in the chat that, I've received my license in Massachusetts and I'm awaiting reciprocity in Connecticut right now, but I'm already watching, YouTube videos on scripts and on how to make the calls for the expired listings and those sorts of things, which I'm really, there's just a lot coming in. And so I think a lot of the anxiousness is really about the total shift in terms of dealing with real estate, as opposed to what I did for the last 30 years of my life.
Right. But here's the thing though. You can't discount the last 30 years. Use it as a value jump off. Focus
Absolutely.
on, here's the thing. You guys are all going to start squirreling. I got to call expires. I got to cold call, FISBOs, this, that, cut it out. Cut it out. Focus
That's right.
on your sphere. Focus on what the market center is doing. Then you can explore the outside. Start with your internal resources, because some Yahoo on YouTube, unless it's
Got
us, might not be the best
Or
thing.
email
Yeah.
me and
Focus
I'll-
on your
I
sphere
appreciate that.
and learning, and then we'll
Got
get you. So you're in a
Very
good place, and we're excited you're
Thank
here.
you.
The next
Yeah,
person who raised his hand was Annie in the car. Annie, want to share what your group picked as the limiting belief?
I would say that our group was mostly brand new agents, and we sort of felt overwhelmed, perhaps, and maybe even a little paralyzed at what is our first step. But we did have a matriarch of our group, and she kind of related to us and where we were when she started out 6 years ago. So sort of helped us with that sort of like understanding that where we are right now is where we are right now. We're at the very host with a lot of information very quickly.
Oh, we're losing Annie. She's got bad
Yeah.
connection. Was anybody else in that group who wants to jump in real quick about the?
Annie-
It was the newness.
Annie.
That's basically what it was. It was the newness,
Yeah.
and that's confidence through learning.
Are you back there, Annie?
Oh, I think she's back.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
We can.
Sorry, I'm headed to Virginia for my daughter's wedding, but I didn't want to miss this meeting. What I was just finishing up with was I shared with the group that last night in my yoga class, somebody came up to me after class, was asking me some questions, and he had mentioned a few weeks ago that he was going to be looking for a house. So I just said to him, have you been looking at houses? Have you started looking? He said, well, I've looked at a few. I said, are you working with an agent? He said, I've seen it. I've gone out with a couple, but nobody in particular. I said, well, I'm an agent. And he said, you are? And I said, yeah, and I would love to be your agent. I would love to work with you. And he said, I want to hire you. Now, do I even know what that's like? I don't even know what paperwork to fill out, but I was like, awesome. When I get back from the wedding on Sunday, I'll call you Monday morning, and I'm just going to call Derek in the Connecticut office, tell him, hey, I got a fish on the hook. Let's reel him in. So
That's it. That's exactly it. And, I don't want to take away the validity of what we're talking about as your limiting belief, but it is that limiting belief too of you're new. And while our goal again is to help you kind of prioritize what you need to focus on, you're going to be gaining a lot of information, and it is going to be a little bit of a sensory overload. But taking that lemon and making lemonades out of it is what you just did, so you don't know exactly where to go. Yes, I'd absolutely love to talk with you. Let's set a time to meet, hang up that phone and go, Derek, what the heck do I do? It's exactly what you do. And that's why you have people in these market centers to lean on. Really good, Annie.
Yeah, yeah. We actually had an agent who transferred from another agency because he wasn't feeling supported. And I think that's one of the key factors why I chose Keller Williams to align with. And I just think that's such an important part of all of us as a community, is that we do have one another to lean on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that really does make KW unique is that you do have that community that not only can you physically lean back on for so many things, but through our charitable endeavors as well, financially as well. Jacob, I saw that you had your hand up too.
And then Linda, and we'll go to break.
So my limiting factor was that, or like whatever's kind of holding me back and what I'm dealing with right now is, one, when I put a contact in my CRM, I used to sell light bulbs. Okay. So I did a lot of cold calling and I did a lot of like what the company said was hot leads, but really it's just like they've already burnt the bridge and I'm calling to try and recover and then see like, oh, can I get you some more light bulbs? So I'm coming from like the thought that every contact I put in has that potential to be trash. And what I need to do is switch it up and say that it's an opportunity and not a crap opportunity, you know? The other thing now is I'm trying to find out how to get my phone numbers back because I have 20 contacts in my phone. Over vacation, I trusted the IP68 rating a little too much. So I dipped my phone in the water, showing my girlfriend saying like, oh no, it's the iPhone 11. These things are waterproof. I put it in for 2 seconds and the thing fried. So don't trust that. Like, I won't even sneeze near my phone now. But yeah, don't trust that and make sure you back everything up because I'm learning that right now.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, they say it takes on average to about 8 to 10 points of contact before a prospective client becomes an actual client. So don't give up on that first one. It takes multiple efforts. You said Linda next, Brooke. Thank you, Jacob.
Yes,
Thank you.
Okay, so you know what we took away from our group was newness, which was touched on. So it's almost like not knowing where to start, being overwhelmed, and almost being afraid to put their toe in the water. Another was the fear. You know, a fear of moving forward and actually starting because, you know, these individuals wanted to be really, really prepared. So it's almost like a procrastination in wanting to be very prepared for every scenario and really not taking that first step to move forward. Then there was also,
You know what we call that, Linda? It's called getting ready to get ready.
I know. We have some permanent learners in our world, guys. You can
Exactly. And then also, you know, not understanding why something is not moving forward, like, you know, getting an offer accepted and not truly understanding why that's not able to be achieved. You know, so those were the 4 takeaways from, you know, from our small group.
Those were great takeaways. Love them. And then Robert put in the group being pulled in too many directions. And that was the whole thing we started talking about in the beginning. Are you running your business or is your business running you? Look at the tools we give you. Opportunities and smart plans will change your life. They will change your life. Making sure you have good systems and models in place. And I know everybody's like, triggered. I got that on my bingo card. I've got leverage. I've got systems. I've got models, right? On the bingo card. I'm telling you, utilize command, come to the classes, work at your market center tech trainer. And if you know it's your mindset getting in your way, speak to your leadership. Tim, do you have a coach? Because I certainly do.
I do.
They beat
Every
the hell
Wednesday,
out of me on a daily basis. Yeah, they beat me up because I get in my own way. I get in my own head. I have my own drunk monkeys. And, you know, oftentimes they'll say to me, Brooke, you can have control or you can have growth.
You know what he tells me all the time? Get away from the victim mentality.
Yes. Get away from it.
You know,
All right, let's take a quick break. Let's do 10 minutes. I want everybody to get up and stretch their noodles and walk around, stretch their brains, stretch their legs. Go ahead, shut your camera off, and we'll see everybody back here at 10:30. Get some coffee. Get a cheese stick. That's what I did while you guys were in breakout rooms. I got cheese sticks.
Or a cheesesteak.
Oh, I
That
would love a
too.
cheesesteak.
Mm,
No
me
onion,
too.
though. No
No
onion.
onion. No.
Whiz, no onion. I love that cheese whiz. It's so good.
Mhm.
Go ahead, get up, walk around.
Good job, Brookie.
Good job, Tim. God, I love you.
Good session here. Of course, with all of my classes, they end up going a long time. So I will keep me on check here.
I'm gonna start just beating you up.
There you go. All right, I'm gonna do the
Yeah, let's
same. We'll
play
be
the
right back.
video. When we come back, let's just get right through to the video and how to use the scripts on that 1972 video they give us. Let's play that right away.
Want to skip over understanding scripts, the benefits?
Yeah, because I think we've really talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
So let's get right to the video so we can start modeling them.
Yep. Sounds good.
I'm a model. I'm a model. Oh, Anita, what did my mentor say? He said, Brookie, you can have growth or you can have control. Pick one. And I went, oops, ooh, not that. Don't use that link I just posted. So that was what he gave me. And I was like, well, I don't like you today. And he's like, yeah, but it's true. You can have control. You can have control or you can have growth.
Have you turned the audio on for sharing?
There you go. So when you go to share, you're going to, at the bottom left,
Yeah.
see where it says share
I got
sound.
it.
You'll
Yep,
do
I
that.
got it.
Awesome.
All right. All right. I'm going to go dark here for a second. Be right back.
I thought he said I'm going dark hair. And I was like, sir, you have no hair. You have no hair. Hi, my Cranston family. Wave. How are you guys doing? I see you. All right, friends. Let's bring it on back. Throw those videos on. Tim is enjoying his Star Bizzle this morning.
Star Bizzle.
Star Bizzle. Star Bizzle. I'm gonna throw a book list out during the break. Oh, it is a stuffed drunk monkey, Carol. I was getting all excited that you had a monkey you threw in a t-shirt that you fed margaritas to or something.
There you go. Got an original.
I love
Yeah. Does it
Thank
talk
you to
when you
Miss
squeeze it?
Lane. No, not anymore. Oh,
I love it.
that's my dog. He's talking for the monkey instead. Anyway.
Love it. Thanks for sharing. All right, let's bring it back. So I dropped my link to my bookshelf. Tim and I read a lot of the same books. I love to read, and if I'm not reading, I'm using Audible. Sometimes we've got to get out of real estate books and read, and I always buy the physical book, but I love my Audible subscription, especially since I'm on the road to see so many of you guys. So if you have not grabbed Audible yet, Audible is so wonderful. I gift it often to people in my family and life. So
Yep.
let's get back to it. Tim, did you have a good break? Did you stretch?
Did, and I don't know that you can see this, but the 12-week year is definitely something that you should all look into. It's outside of KW. I mean, obviously you should have the MREA book as part of your repertoire, but the 12-week year basically tells you how to be productive in 12 weeks and what you would otherwise do within a year. And it's about time blocking. Somebody also wrote in the comments about, I never seem to have enough time in the day. This helps you get that focus going again. So yes, and Brooke, I did stretch my legs. I went for a run outside and I just came back.
Wow, you
And on
look
my way
great.
back in, I grabbed a Pop-Tart because that's what you do after a run, right?
Yep,
Grab a
Pop-Tart.
Pop-Tart. Yep.
Yeah,
And,
maybe some
and my Star
chocolate.
Bizzle.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other problem. There's a lot of candy in this office. Damn Halloween.
All right.
All right. Well, let's,
Sharing again?
yep. The one thing too, Brooke. Yeah, that one thing. That's a
Mhm.
great book as well. So
And their podcasts. So Robert was asking about podcasts I'm listening to The One Thing, and I'm listening to Deeper Pockets.
yep. And within your KW Connect and in the world of KW, Think Like a CEO is a great thing if you want to just kind of throw on as well with Gary.
Yep.
So I'd like everybody to kind of turn to page 5 in their participant handbook, just to have some perspective to where you're at in your participant handbook. And we are going to actually watch a video here. And I want you to review the discussion questions before we start this video. You're going to be using these questions to help guide a conversation after the video is over. And we want you to ask questions and talk about what's the benefit of asking questions versus telling in a conversation. And what are some of the things that you can do in a conversation to show the other party that you're truly listening? Things like eye contact. I always remember kind of an analogy, forget about your political affiliation, but anytime ever remembered talking to Bill Clinton, they always thought I was the only person in the room that he was talking to. And so think about that. So we're going to play a little video and I want you to think about those questions. We've got a great person you're going to hear from in Jeff Glover. You're going to hear that name more and more as well. So let me just make sure that I've got the audio on, share sound. All right. Can you hear Brooke?
Nope, no sound.
All right. Let me just stop sharing. Give me a second. Sorry about that.
Nope. You might have to unplug your earbuds.
That could be it.
No, I'm gonna take over.
Nope.
I
We're
gotcha.
We're not getting any sound.
No, I know. We're working on it. We're working on it. Give us a second. All right, let me get to mine. Oop.
Hold on a sec.
Share. All right, here we go. Oops. Down?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Jeff Glover, and I'm going to tell you the top 5 things that you need to know about using scripts. Step 1, you're going to need to get your scripts from a top agent at the office, your team leader, a MAPS coach, or of course, Keller Williams University. Step 2, we're going to need to do a total transformation of, instead of talking and telling, of asking questions. Selling isn't telling, selling is asking a series of questions that leads to desired response. So instead of talking so much, we need to get in the habit of asking questions. And asking questions gives us control of the conversation. Control of the conversation gives us our ultimate outcome, which is an appointment set or closing. Step 3, we need to listen with good intentions. Well, what I mean by that is we need to listen to their answers instead of just listening to them talk and asking another question that comes to mind. For example, instead of asking a seller where they're moving to and then going on to the next question, how soon would you like to be there? Ask them, where are you moving to? And when they give you a response, ask them, what takes you there? Step 4 in becoming better at scripts is we need to learn to mimic, mirror, and match the prospect. What I mean by that is we have to listen to their tone of voice. We have to speed up or slow down based on how fast the prospect is talking. That means when they respond and say, we're moving to Toledo. Oh, Toledo, that's exciting. What takes you there? 93% of communication is body language and tonality. And that means only 7% are the words that we say or the questions that we ask. Step 5, we need to take these 5 points and practice them daily. If you think of NFL teams, they practice 50, 60 hours on the practice field for a 1-hour game. Our game is our presentations and our appointments, and we need to practice daily everything that we've learned every single day before we meet with our clients. When it comes to scripts, my biggest aha is that everybody has their own scripts. We're pre-programmed to have scripts, and we're talking and asking questions that are scripted. However, what we found is that most of our own scripts are no good. And so we have to learn the right scripts, the right questions to maintain control of the conversation. Thanks for watching KW Connect. Make it a great day.
Thank you, Brooke, for coming to the rescue here. I just about had it. Just about had it. Too many connections here. How many people have heard about mirroring? You know, you're sitting down at a table with someone and you want to put them at ease. If they're sitting at the table with their hands up like this, you're not going to be across the table like this talking to them, right? You might actually put your hands on the table as well. Or if they're sitting down with their legs crossed, you might not immediately as they're doing it, but you might want to also mirror that posture. The same thing applies when you're talking about language. You know, somebody's a little bit of a soft talker. You're not going to necessarily be so boisterous that you're going to talk over them, right, Brooke? Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. You want to be conscious of those type of things. So I'd like to have a little discussion on scripts in some of the questions from the participant guide on page 5. So what's the benefit of asking questions versus telling questions?
Hi, you get information. So you can continue asking questions to figure out what it is that they really need so you can help them.
Absolutely. Who are you truly helping in that situation?
The client.
You're helping you. You're helping you gather the information to better serve them. But ultimately, what it appears is that you're helping them, but you're really helping yourself in that situation. Absolutely, Tony. Anyone else?
Gary, you got your hand up.
You gonna unmute you?
On page 5, it says video, how to use scripts. Michael. There you go, Gary.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was acknowledging that I had heard of mirroring. I actually never was able to get the booklet that's going along with what we're dealing with right now. I wasn't able to access it, but I'm with you.
Perfect. Perfect.
I looked there. I looked in student resources. I couldn't find it.
It's under Spark 3. So go to Spark and then 3 and it's there. There's also a full workbook in there as
Spark
well.
3. I'll look for that. Spark 3.
Got it.
All right. Anyone else? What's the benefit of asking questions versus telling in a conversation? You know, Tony just talked about asking, but what does telling do? Sarah, get your hand up.
You're just like learning more about what their needs are and making them feel more important. So that way they're trusting you more.
Yep, absolutely. Who's ever been in a group setting where one person just monopolizes the whole conversation? What's your kind of sentiment on that? You're like, I don't really care to be around that person anymore, right? And it's not that Queen's Logic story where, you know, that person's asking you, Sarah, about your life, making you feel a little bit more important. So when you start to talk about telling somebody, yes, there's a fine balance between being the expert and helping facilitate the dialogue, and also just kind of monopolizing that conversation. Yep. Okay. What are some of the things you can do in a conversation to show the other party that you're truly listening? A lot of this stuff we've already talked about too.
I think repeating what they've told you shows that you're
Mhm.
listening.
You know why I do that? And you know why?
I can't
So I can-
remember a thing.
Right. Right.
How many of you get nervous when your server doesn't write down your order and you have an allergy or something weird? I have a food allergy, so it makes me so, I don't care if you've been doing this 40 years, you come out with shrimp fingers, you're going to kill me. So, and I don't want my order wrong. Right? Like, so I think of it that way. If my server's not writing things down, I'm ready to cry. Can you just write it down, please? And it's okay
It
to make
helps.
notes. It's so okay to make notes.
Yep. It
Can
is
I
that
add
mental. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's that
go ahead.
mental trigger. I was just going to say, though, it's that mental trigger. When you do, as you said, Tony, and you repeat what they're saying, it's also planting the seed in your brain to remember that. Go ahead, Christina.
Yeah, so not only that, I go back to psych class in college. It helps the person you're talking to process what they're talking about. So if you're repeating what they're saying, then their answer can quickly change if they quickly realize, oh, that's not really what I want. I'd actually prefer this.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
You're helping them facilitate some more strategic thinking on their part too. Absolutely. Anyone else have anything to add to that? What you can do in a conversation to show the other party that you're truly listening?
Go ahead, Anita.
I have a question. How do we interrupt if we can't get a word edgewise, if they're continuously talking without being rude or without being that you're not giving the wrong impression?
I enjoy a good coughing fit. I mean,
Right. You know, it's a really good point. And I think that is probably a really practiced skill set, because you don't want to come across as what I've always done is, as I slowly start to insert myself into the conversation and start to kind of, you know, yep, absolutely. And start to kind of get into the conversation, and then you find that crack in there. But generally, if you're dealing with somebody that tends to drive the conversation, it's going to be, for the most part, a never-ending battle.
Yes. Talk about Tim and I on a call together, right? The other thing is, it's okay to ask them to slow down.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I'm understanding your needs. So I'm going to just slow you down for a second so that I ask a few questions to help clarify, because I want to make sure I'm understanding everything today. So do you mind if we just back up a few steps and I'm going to just ask you a couple questions. So when you said the garage was important, and then you just back yourself up. So it's a gentle reminder too, to say, hey, slow down.
Okay.
Slow down.
I think that's an amazing point, Brooke, because you can always, I think one of the things about being a well-rounded business person is there a little bit of humility there. And there's always, you're going to accept the responsibility. And in this case, you can always kind of revert back to yourself, like Brooke said, you know?
Yep. Yeah, put it
Mind if
on
we
you.
slow down?
The
Put it on
onus
you.
can be on you. I'm so sorry. I just want to make sure I understand everything we're talking about. And I wrote down a few notes. So I'm going to back us up a few steps because you went a little quick for me. How does this play into this? Or can you explain your timing again to me? And I might interrupt you. I hope you don't mind, just so I make sure I'm understanding everything. And have that pen, have the paper. It also shows that you care about what they're saying. and that they understand you're going to interrupt. So you're almost asking permission to be like, slow down.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Thank you.
And
So,
again, what was it, Tony, who said that? I think Tony said it's the repeating the question because, and it's okay to throw an error out there, be like, so wait, was the garage important or is the garage not important? Because it just went, we went by that really quick. So I want to make sure I understand.
Okay.
yeah, because you're piecing this puzzle together for yourself. So you've got to be inquisitive. Think of it as a little bit of a scavenger hunt. You're trying to put the pieces together so that you can understand the whole picture, not just pieces of that picture. What do you think tone and body language do? We talked about mirroring, right? Brooke's angry right now, right?
You're going too fast.
Right? What does that suggest? Tone and body language. I mean, these are obvious, right? Disinterested.
Aggression. You can be aggressive. There are things we're taught as instructors within the KW ecosystem of how to present body language to make people do things that you want to do. If you ever see Train the Presenter, it is not just for leadership. It is for anybody who wants to grow their presenter skills. You're presenting every day of your life, whether you're on the phone in front of people or at an open house. Take the class if you see it. It will make you a better presenter in all of your facets of real estate world. How you sit, how you position yourself at the table, where you put yourself, your posture. How many of you know what RBF is? Like some of it, Tim has it. Like I have to practice before jumping on Zoom for 16 months. They're like, you're always so mad. I'm like, no, I'm paying attention. So I had to learn how to make sure that it came across with kindness on Zooms because people are like, she is always mad. I'm like, just trying to pay attention. I should shut my video off.
Explain what RBF is.
Resting.
Oh, right.
Face. That's what my husband calls it as well. So it's RBF. RAF, resting angry face.
Never think that. I never think that.
That's because I practiced.
It's hyper focused.
It is. I'm hyper focused. So sometimes it's really difficult to remember how stressful of a situation home buying or selling can be. We are the experts and we're there to keep them calm during the situation. There's times where there's going to be fire and flames and we've got to tug the rope in the same direction on these transactions. And that's, if you can school your emotions sometimes, if you can make sure that even at the hottest moments, you're the coolest person in the room, you're always going to win.
Yeah,
right?
That's a really good statement there. School your emotions, right?
Yes.
And I know that as many of you are listening, you're like, oh guys, this is rudimentary. I already know this stuff. Great. I hope you all bring a wealth of knowledge to this. Our goal is to either enhance those skills and allow you to package them properly so that you can be successful, but we're all bringing levels of experience into this. So leverage those that you can and know that there's always opportunity in everything. You had a mirror in my cube when I was a telemarketer. Smile and dial, Brooke, right? Smile and dial.
I was like, I do not want to look at this face all day. But one of my bosses told me, Brooke, people know when you're smiling. They can hear it in your voice. I mean, I worked for an audiology clinic, so they couldn't technically, but the tone in my voice, the way I felt making those calls was completely different than when I was like, hi, this is Brooke. Like I changed my posture. I was able to see myself, and he's like, don't think this is just a telephone call. Put yourself in a person-to-person conversation, and how would they be viewing you if they were sitting across from you right now? Right?
Yep. Absolutely.
Smile and dial.
Smile and dial. Whoop.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
All right. So we're going to move on with the agenda. You guys are making really good time. We're going to give you another quick break as we progress through this last hour and 20 some odd minutes. We're going to talk today, right now, specifically about role model, memorizing scripts. Now that you guys have an understanding of the purpose of scripts, why do you think it benefits us as agents to use them? Let's hear from some of the people that we haven't heard from. Why do you think it benefits us to use the scripts? These are not difficult questions. We all know the answers to them.
Maybe we'll come across as sounding more knowledgeable and intelligent.
Absolutely, Michael. More confident, more knowledgeable.
Confidence.
Yeah, Nathan, thank you. Yeah. I think that that's the biggest key is that you may not necessarily not know the answer to everything, but if you come across in a confident manner, that will kind of give you that added that boost above. I'm not saying confidence with a BS answer, but confidence in what you're going to do, whether it's provide a solution or provide a recommendation to find a solution. Absolutely. Anybody else?
Oh, Andy, go ahead.
Yeah, Andy.
Yeah, hi. I'm pretty sure that the scripts are written from professionals, from experts. So if we use those scripts, we're getting better and better every day, and maybe not very quick becoming experts. But the experts wrote those scripts for us that learn. So that's one of the most important thing to use scripts, because they know better. They've been with the business for years, and they know how to talk with the with the lead, with the prospect. So if we use those scripts, we're getting better every day. If we use some different language, anything, and we don't use the scripts, we're not getting better. We have to use the words that experts would use with talking with customers or clients or anybody.
100%, Andy. Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better. I mean, you're learning from the best out there, and these aren't scripts that were just prepared at random. These are scripts that are tried and tested, right?
Yeah,
absolutely. Thank you, Andy.
Thank
Bridget,
you.
and then Stephen.
I was just going to say it's kind of an interactive way to be able to practice what you need to apply, but also kind of have like a variable at the end. So it's not like you said, it isn't, being a robot and reading off of it. It's having to be intuitive in the moment. So to be able to kind of practice being more reactive, I guess.
I love that. Everybody write that down. Intuitive. Ooh. That's my word of the week now. Write that down, everybody. Put it across the top of your page. Intuitive. I got chili bumps.
Chili bumps. Thank you, Bridget. Stephen, how about you?
So the scripts for me, it's just so you can practice and get your mistakes out, especially if you're practicing with, another agent or with a coach or something. So, you can improve on those and learn from those mistakes before you're doing it with clients or customers.
Practice on us, not your clients. Practice on us, not your clients. It's funny. So we talked about mindset earlier. Everybody's so worried about saying the wrong thing that a lot of the times you'll go into these listing or buyer's presentations and all of the script work you practice, gone, because they're like, yeah, that's great. Pretty package. How do we just get this started? And you're going to be in your head, but I practiced. Right? Can I just tell you anyway? No. Why? Get the thing signed, get moving in your business. Carol, did you have a question or something you wanted to add? I saw your hand go up. The other Carol too? We have two Carols. Was it Carol? Okay. Anne-Marie maybe? All right. Throw something
Can
at
I
us.
say something real quick? And you guys could more than welcome to disagree with me.
Yeah, please, Christina.
Because I am a new agent. I've done direct sales for the last 10 years, and you guys keep saying practice, which I agree with. But if it's don't make the call or make the call and make errors while you're making the calls, I say make the calls and make errors while you're making the calls. Is that wrong? I think it's okay to make errors. That's how we learn. That's how you grow.
I think that there's some truth in that. I mean, and I think that even the best scripts are going to go off script, so to say, because every situation is different. And I think that that's a healthy attitude to have. But at the same time, if you take a scenario where you've winged it or you've had the ability to have some scripts behind you. And what were the sales you did before, Christina? What kind of sales?
So I essential oils. 10 years sold essential oils.
Essential
to friends
oil?
and
Is that what
fam-
you-
Essential
yeah.
oil.
Essential oils.
Oh, essential oils. I got you. Okay. All right.
Not rental
Yeah, I mean,
oils. There's no
real
such
estate, real estate is a different beast in that it is at either the largest purchase or the largest sale that most people are going to be making in their career. So I think when you talk about kind of ebbing and flowing through a transaction, I'm not going to say it doesn't happen and it doesn't happen often, but when you have the confidence of having a good backpack and a library to pull from that you travel with, it does make those conversations easier. Because I will say that when you're doing a listing presentation or when you're doing, I mean, people are buying you. And there is sometimes just one element that can take that person from wanting to work with you to not wanting to work with you. So I say, yes, while what your statement says is partially true, and I think that that's going to be the case, if you can eliminate that possibility of meandering through a transaction by understanding and learning scripts, you're going to be better off to close that transaction.
I completely agree with you, and I'm not saying don't learn the scripts because
Yeah.
I think learning the scripts are important. But I guess my 2 cents is just make the calls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here,
Don't
and
sit
here's
on
the,
the knowledge. Don't
Yeah.
sit on this knowledge and wait for it to hatch like a giant ostrich egg, because it's not, that's not the point of what we're doing. And that's what we see a lot of. We see a lot of how do I put it? They're permanent students, and that's okay, but take the knowledge
getting
that
ready to get
we're
ready,
getting.
Brooke.
They're getting ready to get ready. At some point, you just gotta go and have the confidence that the skills we're trying to help you learn are gonna be there to back you up. So I do agree, pull the Band-Aid off and go sometimes, but you still have to read, internalize these scripts, because one day you're gonna be like, I never thought I'd use that script and now I get to use it. Here I go. And off you go, like a little Broadway musical, right? And you know what to do. And that's what makes it so fun. We've got Michael and then Anne-Marie, and we'll move on.
Yeah, I've always heard that's been a way to go learn the scripts, right? But what I found overwhelming is you see the library of scripts, it's like 500 different scripts. Like, oh my gosh, where do you start? I'm not gonna learn 500 scripts.
Oh, there's a test on all those today after this.
Yeah.
Let alone just a couple of them,
did-
right? It's like you learn the scripts. Okay, which ones? Which ones do I do? And do I tailor it a little bit to my personal self, or do I learn those particular scripts?
So we'll get into
word
that.
for word, right?
We'll get into that in the next few slides, but I'll tell you this. What do all new agents work with in the beginning? What sides of the transaction do you guys usually deal with as new agents?
Buyers.
Probably
There you
buyers,
go.
yeah.
There you go. Buyers
Yep.
leads to listings, listings lead to buyers. Okay. It's a cyclical transaction. So focus on those buyers and actually start with the ones that are listed here in Ignite first. Start with those. And then add to your library of, hey, Brooke, Tim, someone in leadership. Somebody said this to me today. I gave my objection handler, wow, Tim, that's a great question. And I want to make sure I have clarity on my end before I give you an answer. Can I call you back in about an hour or two just to make sure I'm 100% sure on what I'm about to tell you? Absolutely. And then you're like, I need help, right?
One of the things I always talk about here too, Brooke, which is right on that line, is that I say to my agents, I'm like, I may not know the answer, but I know that together we're going to be able to find the answer.
Yep.
You
mean you're not the know-all, Oz?
Well, I tend to be, Brooke. No, I am not. I am not.
Anne-Marie.
2005, and I'm still learning to this day.
Always learning.
I was just going to piggyback off what was said, that you can learn the scripts, and they're a phenomenal tool. They're a phenomenal foundation, but don't you think you should turn them a little bit to make them your own, so it doesn't sound like you're just scripting like what you're told to say?
100%. 100%.
And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that, about how you deploy these scripts in just a little bit. That's the whole point of internalizing them, because there are some words, first of all, I just cannot say. There are, I would never be like, hey, would you like to know the cumulative stats of your neighborhood? That is not a phrase that would come out of my mouth anyway. cumulative is a difficult word. Can't spell it, can barely say it. So, what's going on in your market, right? So, you've got to tailor them a bit to your personality, but I'm going to tell you guys, do not rip the foundations of what they are, because I think it was Andy who said it. These were written by professionals, and not just professionals in the real estate world. These real estate worlds have psychology and sociology backgrounds as well, and they study human nature and relationships. So the people who are helping us with these scripts are top producers, people who have lived in this world, and those at KWRI who have backgrounds in this. So they're fantastic, fantastic resources. All right, Tim, let's keep boogieing through so we can talk to them about understanding scripts
Absolutely.
and why the internalization, big word, I can say that one, I practiced last night, why the internalization is so integral to scripts.
Integral, right? Internalization and integral, 2 5-point words right there. Because you make it mental memory. And I apologize who was just saying, shouldn't you just make it your own? Because you make it mental memory, and then you make it your own. You bring it out in your language. And that's the whole point of internalizing those. Plus that it is not a shock when the situation comes up. It's there to pull. You pull from the back to the front, and you know.
And
that's the situation
intuitive.
it's all.
That's that word. That's that word that we were given. It's intuitive. And trust me, guys, we are smart human beings, but you are never going to be able to remember the scripts verbatim. That's the whole, hearing them over and over saying them. You're not going to use it, be like, oh, well, did you know that buyers who go with a real estate agent are 37.2% more? No. We are not going to be able to verbatim spit this stuff out like that. So memorizing and internalizing helps us feel it, right? It helps us understand it.
And I think, to Brooke's point, memorizing, repetition ultimately leads to it sounding more natural. And going back to the point of making it your own. And how often you practice is a key to that. And it's one of the things that you'll continue to see as newer agents, that most market centers have a script practice, whether it's a daily script practice. And if not, you have a litany of resources around your world that you can jump into for script practices. And as Brooke said in the beginning of this presentation, in this session, find a session elsewhere. Try different locations to try to find ways that people handle those differently and get into script practice with different people. So it's more unfamiliar, making it familiar. So Brooke, do you want to have them break out into groups here? Do you want to kind of move?
I think that'd be great. I'm going to put you back in the same groups you were in before. Let me just move a couple of people around. Tim, do you want to tell them what they're going to do?
Yeah, absolutely. So page number 6 in your participant guide talks about specifically what are 3 negative consequences of failing to learn scripts. And I want you all to take some time just to really talk about this. You're going to need to brainstorm responses to the questions as a group and record your thoughts on that participant guide. We're going to allow about 5 minutes or so for you to do that. And we're going to come back and discuss those. All right.
Yep. So just to clarify, we want you to write down what are some consequences in your business of not learning scripts. So you're going to have breakout rooms for 5 minutes that will count you down, and they're open. So off you go. Fly, fly, little birdies. Fly, fly. Off you go. Oh, if you're not assigned, I'm throwing you in if you jumped in.
Thank you. I was late this morning. I apologize.
That's okay. I got you.
Thank you.
Boop. There you go. Bridget, you need a room? Oh, I got you. Come on, Tommy, go to your room.
Funny. using one from the handbook?
No, did you like the please and thank you thing about the
yeah.
original script? That's what I was talking
Mhm.
about.
Gotcha.
I can't remember where I heard that. And I was like, well, that is stupid basic. Like, why have I never thought of that?
You want to go over, so on the next slide, we talk about getting going over to model, going over one of the 6-step process with one of the scripts.
Okay. Let's, I'm going to bring up the script guide. Bunk, bunk. In the book. Come on. Okay. Oh, we'll do Ford.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at as well. New to real estate or new to Keller? Yeah,
P6. And I'll
Yep.
post it up.
yeah, do P6, new to Keller Williams. How we doing, Brooke? You we doing good?
1 minute.
No, I meant you and me, kid.
Oh, we're wonderful.
All right.
We should do this all the sessions together all the time. I'm sure Jason would love that.
Right.
I love Ignite. Ignite is my, outside of the classes in the market centers, I love Ignite.
Yeah, we had brought Spark and the elementals and the new Ignite right as I started. It actually came out right as I started as TL, and I would have normally done it, but then we had Ellen Yurko. You never had the pleasure of meeting Ellen Yurko, did you?
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
No.
I'll refrain.
Okay.
But she was doing it, and I think it was good, but there was no roadmap on it. So she was kind of winging it. Yeah.
Here
I
they
liked it too.
come. They're all going to start coming back in. No, I love it because people in our region have so much wonderful knowledge and experience that they can lead into this from all the walks of life before they came to real estate. So I love being able to work with our region and the players in it to do this.
Yep. Welcome back.
Welcome
Look, we
back.
had 51 at the beginning. We got 27 now.
They're coming back. It's 30 seconds. It doesn't sadly like rip
No,
them
we
back
lost a lot of
through
people
this.
along the way. In the
No,
middle
we've got like 25 people still in a room. It'll boot them in 15 seconds.
All right.
Eight.
Watch that count.
5.
Mid-20s.
Here we go. Everybody's coming back. All right. Let's unshare the screen for a second and just pick a few people from the room. Let's have 3 people raise their hands and talk from their rooms about the negative consequences.
If not, we're going to spin the wheel from those we haven't heard from yet.
There we go.
All right. So
Turn.
Linda. See Linda.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay, am I unmuted? I am.
Yep.
You are.
Okay, so we kind of had three pretty consistent reactions, and the first one was not appearing fully prepared for the situations when they arise, coming across as being unprofessional. And then the third one was you might open yourself up to more liabilities with the winging it and the language that you use if it's not scripted.
100%. You bring up an incredible point, and one of the biggest problems that we face out there, and that market centers, often have to is that you want to come across as professional. You also, natural instinct and human behavior is you want to have the answers for everything. So sometimes people have a propensity. I'm not suggesting any of you, but they will come up with an answer that is completely off base and potentially even liable, just to have an answer to consider themselves to be the professional. So I'd be very cautious about kind of winging it on the fly, and all the more reason to understand, internalize, and memorize these scripts. Yeah, thank you, Linda.
All right, I assume we'll all have similar ones. So to piggyback on that, you don't want to come across as to have a lack of confidence or a lack of knowledge, especially if you're trying to create a relationship based on trust and that you're going to be working for that person. So all these things add up to probably ultimately losing business, and then ultimately losing the potential for that business to create more business for you.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Confidence is key. Thank you very much.
We got Bridget, Michael, Tony, and then we're going to hop over to a script.
Yeah.
I think one of the first things we kind of brought up was just kind of the being able to practice and having the competitive advantage to actually either get the listing or, to get, obviously achieve the goals that we're setting out. So just put yourself in a little bit more of a competitive advantage. The more you practice, the more you kind of have those tools at your dispense, you're going to be more successful in what you're trying to do. So basically lack of success or kind of losing opportunities. And then just kind of, coming across as not respecting kind of your commitment and respect for the profession, like not, kind of giving, that view of not really caring enough. I think were the two main ones that we kind of came up with.
I love that.
Very
The
good.
lack of caring.
Yep. And I think the last thing we want to perceive ourselves as being is nonchalant or not caring, because it's that initial guttural reaction that people are going to probably remember the most. Remember, you don't get a second turn to make a first impression, right?
You don't. Ask our light bulb dude.
Right.
Right.
Michael?
Yeah. If you hold the space bar down while you're talking, it will also unmute you.
Look at that. That's why she's a nerd.
I know. Here, let me help. Ask to unmute.
How about that?
There you go.
All right, thanks. So sorry, we had a lot of the similar stuff, but something that I haven't heard yet is like ours was more like knowing the scripts helps you maybe start or initiate that conversation, right? And also when you're in a conversation, taking it further, like how's that conversation flow, right? So they don't want to have any dead space, or they're asking something, you're like, oh, you don't
reduce the number of ums.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we all have ticks, by the way, that we do it when you, even if you remove there are still things you do that I've learned, because got out of my vocabulary a long time ago, but I still do some things.
Yeah. Alexander.
And then Tony.
Yeah.
Hello. So earlier, this is kind of a subject, but earlier you said that one of the first things you say to people is, where are you from? And throughout like my whole like trying to pass the real estate exam and all that, here in Massachusetts, they told me that's like the one thing to not say. Because like for some reason, I don't know, it could somehow lead to something like ethnic going on, and like you might be liable to like getting sued.
Fair housing.
So yeah, fair housing. And they said like what to not avoid, and it was, where are you from?
When they say where they're from, you don't go.
Well, and let me just,
right?
Tony, Alexander, sorry. You come to my open house, and then rather than saying where you're from, I mean, when I'm at social gatherings, I always bring that question up. But at open houses, I'll say, "Are you from Beverly?" Oh no, where are you from originally? Yeah, you from the area? Yeah.
So I won't get sued if I say that.
No,
Hopefully
if your
not.
reaction is
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It might. Or if you use that against them as, hey, let's not sell to these people because they're from there. They're from that part of Massachusetts.
Yeah.
We are also in Massachusetts, which is probably the most litigious state in the nation.
Where
So
you
of
from?
course, there's
How's your mother? Where you from? How's your mother? Right? It's the welcome to Massachusetts. Those are the two things we ask.
But you do
Perfect.
bring up a good point, and I think that can segue real easily into not following a script where you can get yourself into even deeper trouble. So, yeah, I mean, if that concerns you, then don't use that as part of your repertoire. Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Alexander. All right, Tony, you've been waiting patiently.
So we pretty much came up with the same things that have already been said. The one thing I hadn't considered that Shelley brought up was the potential loss of future business because you are unprepared, because you are unprofessional, and word of mouth spreads. So it's very important to know what you're talking about.
Yes. And let me add that in this world we live in, social media travels quite fast. You don't want to be, community boards are everybody's favorite local dumpster fire. There's always somebody saying, who knows a realtor? Who knows of this? Who knows of that? You don't want somebody to post your name and then someone go, oh, I spoke to her 2 years ago. She did not know she was talking about, I think you should go with the realtor I went with, right?
Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Let me just. All right. So what I'd like everybody to do is to turn to page 7 in their participant guide, and it's going to have this screen up there, and we're gonna do a little role play. I'm gonna not necessarily put Brooke on the spot, but we're also going to use page 6 in your script guide. You have it, great. If not, again, we're providing you with scripts to utilize for all of Spark, especially for those first things. So you said, well, where should I focus? I forget who had mentioned it, but where should I focus? There's so many elements of it. Well, for one, you may want to call on your database and start letting them know that you are new to Keller Williams and that you're practicing real estate, or especially your sphere. Definitely start with your sphere of influence, your friends and family, and let them know that you're now practicing real estate. And then you can kind of take it from there and focusing on your buyers. But you want to get purposeful about how you practice your scripts. And, everybody has their own way. And this is a blueprint that we use. And so I encourage you to take this and use this as a blueprint. If you need to change it up and make it your own. Want to just talk about what we recommend here to kind of what you do. You're going to pick a script and we're going to use the new to Keller Williams script here to kind of go through this. And then I'm going to actually walk through this with Brooke, and I'll be the new agent and Brooke can be the person I'm calling. All right. But
am I mean or am I happy? Can you set the tone? Give me my
Brooke, just go with your natural happy self. Right? Natural happy self.
You got it.
You don't want to get me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm. No, I'm just kidding.
Guys, also I popped the script book in the chat, and I pasted it in there as well if you're not seeing it. So it's page 6 and 7 of that script book that I put right in the chat for you.
So who here has heard of Ford? Yep, Michael. Yeah. Anybody else there? It stands for family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. And so if you remember that, those are key elements that you can kind of garner the conversation and open that door a little bit wider into a productive and open conversation. So in this instance, where we're going to look at the new to Keller Williams script, we want you to read the first sentence. You don't have to do this right now, but remember this. We want you to read that first sentence out loud 5 times. And I'm not going to read it 5 times, but I'm going to skip past the hello, how's the family? And we're going to go through that with Brooke and myself, because that should be kind of simple stuff that you should automatically have in your arsenal to just start that conversation. All right. So I want you to memorize those, but Brooke, and I'm just going to read this right now. Brooke, and you and I can go through this exercise in a second. I'd like to share some exciting news with you. I've moved my real estate business over to Keller Williams Realty. And just because my company name has changed, the level of service I offer to clients hasn't. And so you
Wonderful,
want,
Tim.
right? So that's the first line of that script that you want to do. So chunk this out, and you can also make it your own. All right. And then what I want you to do, who has seen that challenge about the raise your eyebrows, now smile, now lower your eyebrows, and that's your model face. Okay. We're going to kind of practice that a little bit right now. You want to say the same sentence 5 times while smiling. All right. So you're going to read that sentence 5 times. This is a suggestion. It's something that it enhances the installing of this in your brain. And then you're going to read the second line of the script out loud 10 times. Okay, we're going to focus on one script. And then you're going to smile and say the script from memory and recite the first 2 sentences 10 times with the smile. You're going to repeat the script again by adding 1 sentence at a time, repeating it 10 times. Now, obviously, you can adjust this, but this is what we're recommending. And then you're going to repeat the entire script as fast as you can 5 times in a row. This is going to start to instill that, put that mental memory in there, and really think about it. Really bring it into your psyche. I used to dive. I used to be a diver, diving into a pool, not like scuba diving and stuff like that. And one of the things that I learned was visualization and starting to think about that. And part of that was mantras and saying things out loud. So you would close your eyes and you'd visualize the dive or what you're going to be acting like. And then you'd open up your eyes and without hesitation, you just walk off that board. It's when you interpret that, when you install that hesitation there, that visualization kind of becomes impaired. But then you couple that with kind of saying the mantras. And this is the same thing. We just want you to understand the script by repeating it. It may seem rudimentary to you, but I guarantee you it's going to instill some incredible practices for you. So, Brooke, you want to work with me on this one?
Yeah, I just want to check in with Nathan real quick. Do you have a question?
Hi, yeah. So I was just wondering what the latest Ignite script books were, because I have one printed from the website that I got from the Connect website, and it's the 2015 Ignite 4.0.
Yeah, no.
You posted one in the chat yesterday.
Use the one
The one in the
gave you.
Yeah, the one in the chat yesterday though was 2020, and then the one in the chat that you just now posted was 2019 Ignite 5.0.
Oh, lovely. So our folders update before the full one. So these pages should be about the same. It may be 1 or 2 pages off. But yeah, go with the 2019 one. Go off the one we're working on right now.
Yeah, on the 2019.
Yeah, I just meant in the future. Like I want to print out the latest version. I was just wondering where I could go get that.
Yeah.
These folders update usually from KW. So within the student toolkit, that should be the most updated ones.
If I could turn my camera around and show you my bookshelves here, I have got thick folders of scripts, and I pull from them all the time. And going back to what we talked about before about making it your own, I've compiled multiple scripts together.
Yeah. They're all basically the same. It's just the order of where they may live in that script book.
Yeah.
All right. Tim, ready?
So Brooke, you and I want to go through this new to Keller Williams. All right.
Got it.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, Brooke. This is Tim Shea. How are you?
I'm great, Tim. So nice to hear from you.
Oh, thank you so much. So great to hear from you. Do you have a moment?
I do for you.
Hey, how's your family doing? Everybody doing well?
They are. Hope is insane as always.
Oh, yeah, I know. Well, that's kids for you, right?
Oh, yes. Lovely 5-year-olds.
Are you still working over at Brook Incorporated?
I am.
How's that been going?
You know, we've hit a huge growth pattern. We're hiring and things are busy.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Are you still enjoying being a camp counselor on the weekends?
You know, I've had to, with the growth of the business, had to pass on that role to someone else. So I'm not at the Girl Scout camp as often. I'm still part of it, but I'm not leading it anymore.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Hey, I remember when we talked last, did you ever pursue that dream of being a Disney character?
I did. I actually almost got arrested when I jumped into the parade, grabbed head off someone, and just continued on my way. But dream
Well,
conquered.
yeah, that's good. That's good. Brooke, I wanted to just take a moment and I wanted to share some exciting news with you if I could. I've been in real estate and I recently just moved my business over to Keller Williams Realty. And because my company name has changed, the level of service I offer my clients hasn't. My clients will still continue to get all my enthusiasm and hard work. And as you already know, I'll do whatever it takes to help people. Can I count on you to help grow my business?
Absolutely, Tim.
And I just want to break for a second. So we've got a long script here and, we don't always have to go through that. And what I might do at that point in time is, well, Brooke, I'll go back on script right here for a second. So Brooke, that referrals are just as great. So I'm going to ask you a big favor if possible. If you know anybody looking to buy or sell, I greatly appreciate your referral. That means the world to me. Can I count on that?
Absolutely. I don't know anybody right now, but I always have ears open for you, pal.
Absolutely. Well, would it be okay if I stayed in touch with you and checked up on things?
Absolutely. I love hearing from you.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, Brooke. And please give my best to everybody.
I will. You know what? I'll do one better. I'm just going to drop Hope off with you. You can have her now.
Not a problem. Not a problem. We live in Salem and there's a lot of places to drop her off at. Awesome. Okay. So, this is a real simple one for everybody who's new. Thank you very much, Alexander. This is a real simple one to just use to start going through your database. So all of you, whether you have done it or not, should be compiling a list of everybody that's in your world. Everybody that's in your world, whether you've talked real estate with them or not. And that would be your sphere of influence, your friends and family. I'll just give you a look at to what my pouring into my database looked like real quick. It was my sphere of influence. That was my friends and family. Whether I talked real estate with them or not, they're in my database. They're part of that fuel that goes into my database. It was my phone contacts, some of which were duplicates to that. It was my LinkedIn contacts. I exported my LinkedIn contacts and I poured them into there. And I actually put them all on one specific spreadsheet, first name, last name, email address, and everything else. And we do have a template that you can use, but build that spreadsheet up so that you can pour that in to fill the tank up right off the bat. Okay. So friends and family, phone, LinkedIn contacts. I'm a musician. So it was my musician friends. It was my kids' school parents. And I used that to start off my database. And then it became everybody else that I could add on a regular basis. But that core element is stuff that you can reach out to immediately and let them know that you've moved your business. So that would be a great script to start to build a relationship with your database and get yourself into the habit. Because what's somebody going to say that knows you when you let them know that you've moved into real estate? You know what, Tim, I really don't care. Don't bother me again. You think you're going to get that? Or you're going to say, hey, that's wonderful. That's awesome. That's awesome. Really good to know. Because I guarantee if you don't, you're going to get a year down the road and one of your close friends is going to buy or sell a home with somebody else. It's only your fault because you didn't let them know.
And that's a mindset issue. And we work with so many new agents. I get to play in that sandbox all the time. And one of the things they say to me is, I'm not comfortable asking them to support me. And I'm going to give you a different script. So what happens is, we get excited because we have a new world. You all have your catfish picture. You all jump in and you start sharing things about real estate in the market. But and we talked about this yesterday, you haven't brought value yet. You haven't gained permission to speak business. So one of the things that I've coached on is saying things like, hey, Aunt Lucy, I'm sure you've seen my Facebook post to let you know that I have moved my business to Keller Williams. No, Aunt Lucy, I'm not a Cutco. I'm not Market America. I'm not going to ask you to buy, sell, or refer someone right now. But because I love you and trust you, I need a favor from you. And they usually say, oh my God, Brookie, what's the favor? Can I share my app with you? Can I please put you on my email list? I know that if something doesn't sound like me, or if I make a mistake, that the people I love and trust are going to reach back out to me and steer me back on the right path. It's really important to me that I stay true to the person I am in this business so I can help families and people live their dreams and buy the homes of their dreams. Is that something I can trust you to do for me? Is, keep me where I'm supposed to be and stay humble. When we do stuff like that, you're asking for a favor. You're asking your family and friends to help you. And you're starting with this warm, I need help. I'm in real estate. Not every call now is going to be about real estate. Not every call is going to be about asking you who you can refer in. So if you start gently with your sphere, it's a great way to start the conversation and open the door, because a lot of our agents are not ready to say, do you feel comfortable, asking those referral questions, or talking about their business, because you don't have the knowledge yet, but you're excited and you want to get out the gate and start talking about it. If you sit in one of my database classes, you're going to hear me say it over and over and over. Stop vomiting real estate. Start bringing value. These are people.
Mhm.
These are people.
Yep, absolutely. But I found from my experience that reaching out to your sphere is that first step into starting to market your business. You want to start with that sphere, and whether it produces for you or not, I can guarantee you that there'll be at least a 6 degree of separation from somebody currently in your database to somebody buying in the future. And hopefully it's because of a recommendation, because somebody knows that, oh, hey, my friend Alexander is actually a real estate agent. Let me introduce you to him. And those are the repeat business in the connection-based business, that when you talk to experienced agents, one of the common things that we have 400 agents here at my market center. And the agents that have been in this industry for a decade or longer and are producing mega agents, while they do a lot of lead generation to add to it, they are hyper focused on nurturing their database. 100% nurturing their database. We have one mega agent here, doesn't even lead gen anymore. Their lead gen is nurturing that database, and they get those leads added because of the referrals that they're getting from their database.
Yep. And they're adding agents because if it's who I think it is, he's busy. He's growing.
Yep.
Because he doesn't call and ask to buy, sell, invest, or refer someone for every conversation. They get excited when they see his name on the phone.
Yep. And he's got in this individual has fully taken their business and immersed it into command in every aspect. There's task follow-up, there's automation, there's assignment, there's smart plan, everything. This person is probably the first in our market center to take their business, and this person's been in for a long time and had his own systems, is now brought it in utilizing all of command. And it's pretty darn exciting to be a part of.
Excuse me, does he have a team behind him, or
He
does
does.
he have men?
He
Or
does.
He does
He
now.
does. He has
yeah.
He's always
It's
had a
different.
transaction coordinator, an internal transaction coordinator. But in this day and era where we talk about leveraging, you have the ability in most market centers to, on a contract per transaction basis, contract out with a transaction coordinator or potential admin. This person that was a part of his team, or is a part of his team, was admin and a transaction. He brought in now an admin, so this person is now transaction. He dated, and I mean this with all due respect, a couple of agents for about probably 6 months on a non-team basis to see how they would work out, and then said, okay, we're ready to make the commitment, and at the same time added 2 buyers agents to his team.
Wow.
And that is probably one of the greatest benefits. I think most of us in here, unless we desire to come in and do maybe 5 to 10 transactions a year, I think all of us have this desire to want to build a business. There is no better company structure to go ahead and show you the path to build a team out, because I would imagine that if that is your desire, your end goal should be to be the facilitator of everything about your team. So you're taking a step back on your team and orchestrating all of the things and just managing the team from up here, while everybody else is a buyer's agent, seller's agent, transaction coordinator. And if you look in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, the 7 levels of building a team, it's all written out there for you. Yep. All right.
Good question. All right. Does anybody have any questions about the internalizing or the memorization, or how Tim and I go through those processes to understand these scripts? And guys, I'll also tell you this, my dog knows my scripts inside and out. I talk to that poor thing morning, noon, and night. I talk to my kids. My kids are they're like, don't script me, mom. Don't script me, right? They're these poor boys. I have teenagers and the 5-year-old. Use your friends and family, use the people in your household, talk to inanimate objects, talk to yourself in the mirror. It works. Just start doing these things. Hold up the piece of paper and then hold it away and say it, bring it back. Say it, bring it back. Makes a difference.
If you don't have anybody to do it to, record yourself.
Yep.
Record yourself and watch yourself. I mean, who is a
I feel
Boston
like I'm
native
back to an
here?
acting class.
Yes.
Right. Exactly.
I mean,
Whoever, I'm old enough to remember the Museum of Science commercial when I was younger, when they pick up the phone and hear themselves back, and it goes, it's fun to find out what your voice really sounds like, because you just don't think it's that way. But record yourself. Nathan, I'm sure it sounds like you may have done this exercise in maybe an acting class, or
yeah, I was in theater in school. I was in theater, and
Yep.
it's just like that. It's, you don't go audition for a play, get the part, and then just go the night of the opening and hope and pray that you remember your lines. You go to practice constantly until those lines are right there. So when you go on stage, you act the part.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to break you out into some groups again. And I want you to turn to page 8 in your participant guide and understand the role play. And I also want you to, if you have the ability, to pull up a script practice, the script practice guide, and pick a script out. Maybe that first one in that list is probably the simplest one to utilize. And I want somebody to be courageous in the groups that we're going to assign you in, and be that person that's going to read through the script with somebody else. It's always easier to be the one receiving the information. It's harder to be the one giving the information, but this is where you really refine your craft. So we want you to be working on part 1 of the instructions. Pick any script, pick a partner. Well, we're going to put you in groups. I want you to switch partners and repeat the steps. So whoever you do the script with, once you're done, and you don't have to go through the whole long scripts that we have, go through that first paragraph. And then I want you to switch roles. And if you're an observer in the room, pay attention to the mannerisms, pay attention and provide feedback. It's all constructive. Everybody clear on what we've got here for assignments?
I'm
Can I
going
just
to put you
interrupt for a
guys.
sec?
Yeah.
What manual are you talking about? I was late and
That's
turned off.
okay.
Were you just talking about the script book, or?
Yeah, the
Any
script
of the
book.
ones in the script
Okay.
book, I'll pop it back
Yep.
in again.
All right.
Yep, the simplest one, page 5 or 6, are pretty simple ones to kind of utilize.
Gotcha.
And probably applicable to a good portion of us. All right.
Okay.
All right, let's do this. Let's get some verbiage going and talking to one another.
Talk
Good
amongst
luck, gang.
yourselves.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Don't get verklempt.
Verklempt.
Verklempt. Go, Gary, go. Unassigned. Let's see. Put you here, and put you here. There you go. I just assigned you to rooms. There you go. Muting for a sec. Okay.
Give me a second.
Yep. Why did it do
All right. What's going on, you? We got what? Is this going to 12:30 or 12?
we can wrap up, get them out by 12.
All right.
Let's jump into, because we've hammered home scripts and the importance. Let's go through some, I don't call them, we can do ahas from today, but also I want them to give us one thing they're going to implement in their business today, tomorrow, and then let's talk about where can they find script practice partners. And usually I say, raise your hand in here and connect.
Yeah. I do want to talk about the goals to set your career on fire. That's just the 411 there.
Okay.
So we'll do some ahas.
Yeah, let's do ahas. Find out from your market center first. If there is script practice that happens, you just may not, it may be called something different, morning mindset, power hour. You may not be cued into it. And then, then we can.
Have you been on James Shaw? Sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry.
I try to log in every single day. I do that one. I do Yun's new group when I can.
Yeah, what's up with Yun?
She went back into production with her husband. Paige is the new TL, and then she started like a mindset group.
Okay. But she's still working out of that market center?
Yep.
And Paige who?
Paige Farley from Nashua.
Okay. She went down and took the job there?
Yep. She's wonderful. Why does it do that? I always want to sing ahas like opera.
Were you just a wannabe or did you sing?
I cannot sing to save my life. My husband has the voice of an angel.
Does he? Can he sing?
Oh my God, yes. So one of the first times I ever heard him speak, he picked me up off the floor of our high school when somebody went by and pushed me and knocked me over because I was the little nerdy girl. And he reached down, this giant of a man, picked me up, put me back on my feet, dusted me off, and said, "Hi, I'm Adam. I just moved back from Florida." Big heart, cartoon eyes.
He has a little bit of a Jason Aldean look.
Yes. And then he sang Sinatra in our talent show, and my jaw hit the ground. And then he was in Greece.
Wow.
So he was an athlete. He was in theater. The only reason I joined theater was to get closer to him. And then, yeah, he can sing anything. He drives me insane. His voice is beautiful.
Why isn't he playing a band or sing or do stuff like that?
We don't have time for that. He's in school to be a physician's assistant outside of working full time and dealing in his real estate business and supporting me.
Yeah,
He's a busy dude.
sounds like it.
I love him though. Yeah, voice of an angel. He sings constantly.
It's awesome.
Yes.
Well, I can't sing, and it doesn't stop me from doing it in the band.
Stop it. He loves like Rat Pack.
Yeah, he's an old soul.
He is. His dad was older, much older. And so he grew up listening to all the classics and wasn't allowed to listen to like popular music unless he was
Well,
that.
that was Michael Bublé's, claim to fame, is he would sit and listen to his grandfather's crooners albums, right?
We just saw him 2 weeks ago.
Michael Bublé?
Yeah, we went.
He's a
at the
funny
garden.
dude, isn't he?
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious. It's probably the 8th or 9th time I've seen him.
Is his thing now he brings a kid up from stage?
No, he can't. So he puts a microphone on a hockey stick.
No, he doesn't, does he?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was amazing. It was amazing. No, and it was one of those where like you sang every song. You stood up, and we ended up with front row tickets because of an error on the ticket side. So we got upgraded and we were able to get front row tickets, and I've never sat that close to the stage. And it was like he was just singing to us. And I love it when people sound the same live. Like, I hate when you go to a concert and you're like, this is not what I signed up for or paid for.
Yeah. All right, we'll bust through these last elements here.
They have a minute left, and then it will auto pull everybody back. It'll just take a second. All right. I'm closing the rooms.
All right.
Oops. Did you hear that wheel grinding? That's my stomach. My stomach is louder than me most days.
Well, my chair squeaks a lot, and I got to oil it, and people probably don't think it's my chair.
That is the funniest thing in my 5-year-old's world right now. She just watched a show and they had a whoopee cushion. You would have thought she was like drunk. I have never heard squeals and giggles like this before. And I was like, oh, you can tell you have brothers. You can tell you have older brothers, because farts are the funniest thing on the planet. We're almost back. All right, we are back, friends. This is what Tim and I talk about when you guys are busy working on your breakouts.
Right. Kids and farts and stuff like that. But look, first off, we wanna thank you. We're gonna work to get you out of here in the next 10 minutes, and want to thank you for taking time to stay steadfast, be purposeful on your business. Want you guys to know that we are here for you. Brooke is integral in all of your market centers. I'm here as a resource. I'm out of the Keller Williams Evolution in Beverly. Just look it up. You can always call on me if for any other reason, just to say hi, but I'm always here, and want to thank you. So I want to take a minute to just do some little recap of what you found in your exercise right there. How did it go? Anybody care to volunteer? What was the feeling, the sentiment, if you were the presenter or the receiver?
Sure. We just had time to have 2 exchanges. One of the points that came up was the difficulty of if you don't know the script and you're just reading it, you're kind of a prisoner to the scripts, should I say. And I was a college hockey coach, so recruited kids and families for 30 years. And while a script is great, it's got to just be the skeleton, because if you're too focused on the script, you're not listening to the person you're talking to. You're just wondering about what you're going to say next.
Yeah.
And it would be very rare for it to all connect perfectly that way. So I think a lot of people are nervous on the phone or nervous talking to people. And the best advice, I think, is to just slow it down, to just breathe, think about what they're saying. I mean, a lot of times when you don't talk, you seem more intelligent than you do when you speak. So if it looks like you're just kind of thinking about an answer, that's okay. But be ready to listen to what they're saying and have a few words that we're going to lead into your next point, and try and incorporate what they're saying into that, obviously. But the scripts are great in terms of a foundation, but I think we have to be able to go off script at any given second.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that has basically been at the core of what we've been kind of talking about is that you want to make it mental memory so that it doesn't feel automated and feel robotic and rigid. Absolutely, Rick. Thank you. Anyone else? Bridget?
We had a fun to exchange, and then Andy who was observing, we had a really good point where he said, hey, like, you guys just kind of, definitely just went along and agreed and, made it nice, so I think he said, we should definitely try and spice it up with each other a little bit and throw more like the challenging, like, well, I don't need that app, or some stuff like that, keep it going. So it was really funny because we were like, yeah, we probably should have kind of challenged each other a bit more. So I think just making sure when you're doing these, you're helping each other get better, I think was kind of one of the things that was cool about it. But yeah, we had a good group.
Yeah.
I love
making nicey nice in the first one is good, but then that gets you roped in, and then all of a sudden the whip comes out, and that's accountability.
Yes.
That's true accountability.
And
Right.
It's pushing. And
And
Brooke
yes,
mentioned our
be mean. You not mean, but what would you feel like in that situation? Like, there are times where I'm like, I do not want to take this call. I do not want to be sold something. My mood does not support being kind at this moment. So, it's okay to be that way. My script partner is flat out rude to me as a mean agent sometimes, because in my world, I deal with a lot of hostile people. So they'll come at us swinging, and it's okay to come out swinging in these things. It helps one another, because sometimes people are loud or mean, or loud or just mean.
Look, we have a director of productivity, and she's worked with Kristen Cole, managed her team. She comes across as black and white about it, but she is passionate about making sure that you understand the scripts. And that's generally the ones that are the facilitators of holding you accountable are going to make it tough on you, because they want it to be commonplace. They want it to be natural for you. And you're not going to get it by being nicey nice, right?
No.
All right.
Dig in. All right, guys,
Yeah.
let's talk about those goals, and then we're going to take one or two ahas from you guys from today and get you out the door at noon. So I love the goals in this chapter, because they talk about really ways to set your career on fire. And one of the ways we make our businesses healthy is we've got to feed our database. So you're going to see this. It's the add 10 contacts a day, have 10 conversations a day.
4-1-1.
Yes. Handwritten notes. Jen talked about the home previews. That could be through your own KW app or website. I highly recommend you find yourself in there and work on your own website or app, so you're not surprised by anything your clients tell you. But those 10 contacts added a day, that's not a lot if you think about it in the grand scheme of things during Ignite. It could be vendors you've worked with. Now, I'm going to say okay to two-way conversations being through Messenger, text messages, Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger, but these conversations. But guess what, guys? If you don't log them, they didn't happen. let me just say that again in case you were writing something else down that was prophetic that I said earlier. If you don't log them, they did not happen. Quickly click activity, or if you are like me, I like to write as I go and I time block at the end of the day to update my CRMs. It's also super important you jot yourself a quick note in the CRM about what you put in the handwritten card that you're sending to your sphere, because you do not want to say the same thing over and over. You will look ingenuous and uncaring. And those home previews per week, those are the hot sheet that Jen was talking about earlier. Log into your MLS, find out it's different in every MLS when you log in, near in, Paragon, MLS pin, all those things. So make sure you see the most recent listed in your area. Go on your app and look at the different neighborhoods. Listen in on your company meetings or watch what your KW family is posting on their Facebook pages for just listed. There are so many ways to find the home previews. Also, go to open houses. As a new agent, visit them. You don't have to be the one doing it. If you have no clients on the weekends, go to the open houses and observe them. You're previewing them. That is okay. Preview the homes so you know what it looks like when other people are doing open houses, or so that you get a feel for it. Do you not know what baseboard heat is versus propane heat? What does it look like to be the different styles of homes you see in New England? Because it's very different than what you see in Florida, right? Or parts of California or Utah, right? The homes look different everywhere you go. Do you know what a colonial is? Do you know what a gable is? Do you know the different roof types? So all these things as you preview and you're reading the MLS, when you go there, you can say, this is what a true screened in farmer's porch looks like if you've never seen one. Stuff like that. Does that answer questions on the home preview? I got a couple personal messages about what a home preview is.
Yeah, so I just want to kind of focus for a second on this 10-4. You know, if you take that spreadsheet and pour that as an import into your command database, whether it's 50, 100, 200, 300, whatever it is, pour that in as the initial startup of your database. You can start on the 10-4. And as Brooke said, it's a lot of mental memory and it's a lot of change in habits. So for me, I've got 2 booklets that I still write in every single day. I write my notes in one and I write, other things in the other one. But I had to shift that mind frame to start to utilize the platform in command. And so when you think about a 10-4, we have a gentleman who works in this office. He's in every day at 9, generally out by 12, 12:30, on average between 250, 300 GCI, and he has the afternoons free. But he's purposeful in those morning hours, and he's at the core working on a 10-4. As Brooke just said, add 10 people to your database, call 10 people in your database, just wellness checks. I mean, during this pandemic, we've just had wellness checks, which constitute for it, and that go for a world of influence. Write 10 notes to people and research 10 properties. So 10-4. If you do these same activities every single day, every other day, maybe Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, add 10 people, call 10 people, write 10 people, research 10 properties. You're going to have a successful business that you can build on. And when you think about notating, as Brooke said, in command, adding 10 contacts, reaching out, you're going to notate in the note section, add the activity, and then do a task follow-up. You've now doubled your task follow-up. So you'd made a task and you created yourself a task follow-up so that now you're going to look on your tasks in command, and the first portion of your morning is to follow up on those tasks, then get into the 10-4.
Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you guys this, everybody wants to automate getting their contacts in quickly and doing imports. And I'm going to tell you, garbage in, garbage out.
Yep.
No, their emoticons don't pull through. There's weird things that are going to happen. It takes 4 pieces of information to get a healthy contact. And I've dropped my healthy contacts PDF right into the chat. Guys, if you're going to import things in, 1, be purposeful. Tag things. Make sure you add a tag called import. Make sure you have clean data going in, because one of the things I hear from agents was, I dumped all my stuff in, I regret it. I didn't need to put everybody who was in my phone. Alex from the club doesn't need to be in there if you haven't called Alex from the club since when the Avalon was open. Okay. But that's what I see. You guys, you have no idea what I see, what you guys sent me to put in. Garbage in, garbage out. Be purposeful. If you're going to put all your family in and you're going to import it, make sure you tag them as family. Okay. Garbage in, garbage out. Get your database clean, get it healthy. This is where data bank starts to come in. And like I was chatting about with you guys yesterday, start with the end in mind. You want to be able to sell your book of business someday, retire, but retain referral rights to every person that comes out of your data bank. One of the things we talk about in our classes, what is your database worth? So think about that. Every time you put someone in your data bank, because you're newbies, you're going to create a bank right off the bat. How healthy is it? If someone were to sit down and help me make phone calls, would they know everything about every person that they're pulled up on the screen? Are there notes? Are there activities logged? The other thing, guys, the smarter you make your database, it's based off of AI. There's artificial intelligence rocking and rolling in the background to command. It's going to start to tell you who you need to reach out to.
Yep.
Are
It
there
is.
any-
Go ahead.
Sorry. Are there any good resources to help? So I have a lot of past work folks in my list, but I may not know their home address. How would I look that up?
You ask them when you call them.
Yeah.
Don't
it is
spend
about
time
that
being
grasp.
detectives. Don't spend time being a detective.
Well, I was going to initially send a bunch of letters out, right? The letters section, but if you don't have their home address, you're screwed for that. You got to do something else.
There's a couple of smart plans on missing emails, missing phone numbers, missing address. Marty Miller is the author. If you look, and it's just, but read it before you deploy it. Make sure it sounds like your voice. Marty Miller on those is the only person's smart plans I would use. But call them, connect, get their info. Okay.
Leverage the smart plans. Make sure that your sheet is as complete as it is. If you're not familiar with tags, you're not familiar with all of that, get in with Brooke in the database, the data bank. It's
Andy,
important.
do you have a question?
Yes, I have a question for Tim. Hey, Tim, you mentioned earlier about the 410, right? One of them was, the last one was research 10 homes a day. No, I mean, maybe not a day, but I forgot. 10 homes. What do you mean by that? What is the research 10 homes? You actually go to the home that is up for sale and look at it, or how is that research 10 homes?
Yeah, multiple sources. One is that, as Brooke mentioned before, know your local marketplace for one.
Right.
So Andy, what town are you going to be working out of?
It's going to be Connecticut, mostly the greater Hartford area.
Okay. So I might look every day as to what's new in Hartford. Brooke mentioned hot sheets, and Jennifer Bovey in particularly mentioned hot sheets. You can create customized searches. It's just knowing. So at the very most, over the past year and a half with the pandemic, our touch to properties has generally been online, unfortunately. But if I, what I do I'm in a non-compete position now, but when I was a realtor, I would like Brooke said, hit as many open houses in my general geographic region. If I knew my client contingency, which sometimes it strikes out and goes into different areas. Like I got a lot of people for a while up in Amesbury and Haverhill, and I didn't know what the pulse was up there. So I'd go in and check that out. I sometimes will just drive by the property to check it out because I can tell by a quick drive by its condition. And the more that I'll be able to know, what exterior work it does. And when I go to visit a house with a client, I'm looking at the exterior. I'm taking them right in the house. I'm going to the basement, checking out the nuts and bolts of it. Then we're walking through the house and you're going to be able to see that. So where does it come from, Andy? It comes from researching on MLS and knowing what's in your general area. It comes from open houses. It comes from drive-bys, and it comes from your community that, we've talked about before, your fellow agents. You're going to get notifications from definitely your core fellow agents. So just being in tune with the market. And then if you're a little bit of a quant and a nerd, you get into some of the numbers.
Right, thank you very much. And
yeah,
about the open houses that Brooke mentioned earlier. If I go to the open house, for example, Sunday, 10 o'clock in the morning, and I work in, and do I say that, that there's a certain agent that greets me? Do I say that I'm a new agent and I want to just look around, talk with you for a little bit, or just pretend to be a client? I mean, interested in buying that house. What do you think?
You have to disclose you're a realtor, and it
Ah.
depends on your state laws. That's the
Oh, okay, gotcha.
non-question.
Yeah.
Personally, I love making relationships with other brokers out there. I
That's it.
love making those relationships. So yes, wear your name tag, put your little KW shirt on, go out there, I'm previewing the home, just getting ready for some buyers, just wanted to check it out. I'll poke around. Thanks for having me. Look around.
And I'll just add to that, we're such a small community of realtors that we're always going to be bouncing into one another. So get to know your realtor community.
Yep.
Okay.
And there's something called a broker open. There's going to be times where you are invited as realtors only to preview the property, and they're going to ask you information and for feedback. I love broker open. They give you so much insight into how is the property priced? What does this look like to be at this price point? So yes, preview the properties, but this is how, if somebody says, well, how's the market? You're not like, good.
Yeah.
It's good, right? This is how we get those. Great. Your market, are you talking here? Well, here in Connecticut, where I live in, Simsbury, 3 just went under contract in 2 days. I know that they talk about the national, where do you want to know? So it just gives you more context.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, guys, let's jump into some ahas. Ahas. I just wanted
Anything she just wanted to sing. Anything before we move on from here? Any real ahas that you guys have had?
from today's session, an aha or one thing you're going to implement into your business immediately. Because remember, guys, it's not a waterfall. It's 1% better every day. So give us Carol, you came off of mute. It's all you.
Yeah, I was just going to say the biggest aha today was knowing that you're an actress. You do it very well, so I'm sure you're quite successful in your business.
It's because I practice my scripts.
I know, I can tell. All right.
Well, I'm glad
No,
you
it
had.
was good. It was all good. All good. Thank you.
Tony, what's one thing in your aha?
For me, it was really internalizing the scripts. I tried to go off script and it didn't go so great. So yes, internalizing.
Good. Yeah, you get dinner and a show with me when I come to your market centers and teach, guys. Talk to your leadership, bring me in.
She's always trying to get food out of it. Always.
I'm a hungry hippo all the time. I am constantly eating. Put that in a tag for me. I'm hungry. I like coffee. Go ahead, Bridget.
I was just going to say a piece about the health context. I think that kind of thing that hit a little bit just in the sense of what's actually what it's worth, what your database would be worth, a fun perspective to think about. So that one for me.
Yep. Start with the end in mind.
I can tell you that when I talk to a lot of agents who have been in the industry for a long time and they're on their way out, they just say, I say, well, what are you going to do with your database? You've worked 20 plus years to go ahead and work your database. Can I show you how I can make you some money, some passive income for it? They're just flabbergasted because most just think that they're going to leave the industry and let that thing die. Mm-hmm. And you got to work towards a greater good because this is your business. You sell your business, sell that data bank.
I love it.
All right.
All right, Anita, and then we'll end with Anita.
Getting more market knowledge that gives confidence.
Good. Those hot sheets, guys. Yes, if you don't know, ask someone in your market center to help you get to the training. Most of our MLSs in New England, Paragon, Nearin, MLS PIN, they have trainings right on right when you log in, if you go to their support box, they have pre-recorded, and I know many of the trainings that Niren offers are CEU based, so you can get a credit or two out of it. Because we all know our agents love CEUs. They need those CEs. All right, guys. If you don't have any more questions, it has been an absolute pleasure to be on this Ignite session with you guys. I'm looking forward to the next set of sessions we have upcoming. Tim, do you have any parting words of wisdom for our friends here at KW?
Stay focused, keep your foot on the gas. Remember, good thoughts, good words, good deeds. Always, I tell all of our agents all the time, don't get discouraged. There are going to be cyclicals in this, but make sure that you're always keeping that foot on the gas and moving your business forward. And you can do it. I can promise you, you can do it. If you have any questions for me, you know that I'm here out of the Beverly office. Keller Williams Evolution, 781-789-5128, or Timothy Shea at kw.com. I have faith in all of you that you're going to have an incredible career. And thank you for letting me share your morning with you.
All right, guys, go out and be great. Have a wonderful day. Bye, Tim. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brookie.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you.
See you guys tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.